In this free AI agents course, you're going to learn how to basically automate anything using AI agents. Now, one of the first tools that we're going to kick this off with is N8n. This can build seriously powerful AI agents. In fact, your only limit is your imagination. Let me show you exactly what I've worked on, and we'll start with the basics, and then we'll get more and more advanced as we go through. We're going to be talking about how to use Gemini, DeepSeek, ChatGPT agents, how to insert feedback loops, human approval loops, even how to, for example, browse the web and scrape the web with AI agents, and even some of my best workflows, including AI avatars, web scraping, sales agents, etc. Super excited to show you everything that exists inside here. Now, if you just want to get started with the basics, and you can just go inside N8n, click Create Workflow, and from here you can add a step, which is an AI agent, right? And basically what you're doing inside N8n, you are essentially creating workflows that link AI APIs. Using these workflows, you can build all sorts of complex AI custom agents that you would have never found before. Now, I'll show you some example workflows in a minute, but this is how it works. Now, usually when you're building out these AI agents, you want to have a trigger. So this could be, for example, like a Telegram message. It could be a WhatsApp message. It could be just adding a chat inside the chat down here so you can talk with your AI agent directly. All right. Now, once you've done that, you're going to add a row to an AI agent like you can see. And inside this AI agent, you can just give different directions. Now, you've got two choices here. You can, number one, take the prompt from the chat trigger, or you can define the prompt that you want, right? So if I go into the chat, I can set that as a trigger, and that could be the prompt for the AI agent. Or what I can do is I can click on Define Below and take the input inside the chat over here, plug that into the text, or just change it to something like "You are a friendly assistant." Right? And then what you can also do is you can have a system message. So a system message is like giving instructions on who that agent is. And this way it knows exactly what its role is, how it's using its AI, what is basically its main priority. All right. So once you set up your AI agent, then you can go inside the chat model here, and you've got all these choices of AI. So you can use, for example, Anthropic, Azure, DeepSeek, Google Gemini. Gemini is actually free. You can grab an API from aistudio.com and then plug that for free directly into Google Gemini. You could use Grok. That's also got some free options. Mistral, Llama is free. That's hosted locally. OpenRouter, OpenAI. Now, to keep things really simple, I'm going to use OpenRouter. And the reason for that is because you get access to all these different APIs directly inside it, right? So if you select OpenRouter and you plug in your credentials here, just click on the drop down, go to create new credential, then you can plug in your API key. Now, if you're wondering, okay, how do you get an API key from OpenRouter? Just go to openrouter. You're going to sign into your account or create one. And once you've done that, just go down to your settings in the top to hover over your profile picture, click on keys, and then from here, you can create your API key that you're going to plug into N8n. And the good thing is once this is set up, every workflow you create is already plugged in and ready to go. So you've got access to all these different APIs directly in here. If you want to go free, if you want to go on a budget, for example, you can actually just type in free on the model section and choose between all these different options. So you've got DeepSeek there, Google Gemini, Flash Experimental, to Llama. Llama is very fast. Not many people know or use it. And you've got Quen as well, which is another Chinese AI from Alibaba. So, for example, we can just go with DeepSeek Chat, for example, or Flashlight Preview, and then we're good to go on that. All right, so that's our AI plugged into the agent. Now, this agent won't work without adding a chat model. Of course, you've always got to add that. And inside the tool section over here, you can select between all the different apps and tools that you want to select, right? So, for example, you could insert a tool like HTTPS. This will basically scrape the internet, right? So it can scrape the internet based on the URLs you give it, and it can just read live web pages. You can also, for example, connect this to Gmail. So if we type in Gmail on the tools over here, we've got the Gmail tool. We could plug in an extra tool. You don't have to have one tool as well. You can plug this into multiple places. So you could, for example, link a Superbase database. We could add inside here LinkedIn, right? And look at our LinkedIn profile. And you can see all these different branches of tools that we can build in here. We could also add Twitter. And then we can link our AI agent to multiple different apps. I'll show you how to connect these later in the video. But essentially, that's what you can do with the power of this. Now, inside the memory section here, this basically gives the AI agent recognition of all the other stuff that you've created. So if we click on Window, Buffer, Memory, this is by far the easiest to set up. And once you've set that up, you can basically read previous interactions that that you've had with the AI agents. The agent has a memory of your interactions with the chatbot. Now that's useful because the more context your AI agent has of how you like to interact with it, the better the outputs of what you get from that AI agent. So we could add, for example, like 10 different messages, and this would read up 10 past interactions with the model, and it would look at those as context of what we've done so far. And if you want to delete any of this, just right click the module or just click on the bin at the top there, and there you go. All right. Now, if you wanted to test this workflow out, this is basically how to build your own AI agent custom built to what you want in literally a couple of seconds, in literally a few clicks like you can see today. Then we can say, okay, are you working? And that's going to trigger the AI agent to work. And it's okay, I will be a friendly assistant. How can I help you today? All right. And so you've built your first AI agent in the space of a few clicks. Very simple. And also the API didn't cost you anything because we're using Google 2.0 Flashlight Preview. Bear in mind, like when you're using some of these APIs, if you're using a reasoning model, you're going to get slower responses. And I wouldn't recommend, if you need quick responses or you want a quick workflow, I would recommend just using an API, for example, Flashlight Preview, that seems to get much faster responses without the deep thinking mode. All right, so that's something to bear in mind as well. Otherwise, what you're going to have is like a chain of thought in the reply, which is quite time consuming, quite annoying, etc. Now, if you want to, for example, turn this AI agent into a chatbot, right? So you don't want to use it inside N8n directly, but you do want to use it as a chatbot you can just visit anytime, then you can click on active over here. So you can make your workflow active. And then inside the chat message, you can click on make chat publicly available. That will give you a URL that you can navigate to. Then we're going to go back over here. We'll hit save on this. And now we can navigate to our chat, right? So this is a URL we got from N8n. We've got our chatbot ready to go. We can say, are you working? And it's great. I'm ready to help in a friendly way. What can I do for you today? All right. That was so easy to set up an AI agent, custom built to whatever we want. Now, if we hide the chat, and then if you want to know how to like scroll, you can just press command and that'll help you scroll to the left or to the right. Inside the chat here, you can also add a more complex system message. You can actually take the inputs from the previous workflow. For example, we can take the chat input and then put that as a prompt that it works with over here. So we've dragged that in. And you see how it says JSON.chat input. That is the input from the previous workflow. And that previous step is the chat, like we can see. And then you can also choose whether you want like a conversational agent, a tools agent, all sorts of different agents there. And inside the settings as well, you can see all these different options you get as well, right? So you can say stop workflow on the error or continue and just pass a message on and carry on. And then for the next output, you can actually link the output to another AI. So you can have different AI agents with different roles. Or what you can do in here is you could say, okay, send this message that we got from the AI agent over to Twitter, right? Whatever you want. So that is the basics of setting up an AI agent inside N8n. It's going to get a lot more complex all the way to the point where you're building stuff like this, where you've got positive feedback loops. You've got like 4 different agents in one single workflow. It's working with Gmail and it's got filters for the messages that you send. So whether stuff is approved or declined, and you've got multiple different AIs and APIs working together like you can see. We're going to cover that later in this course. But for now, if you want to know how to do web scraping inside, what you can do is you can connect a P request, and this will look at your live website. So for example, we've plugged in juliangoldie.com as the URL to get, and then that's going to send over to our AI agent. And you can see as the prompt inside this AI agent, we've said, rewrite the copy on this page, plus make it more interesting and fun, add some emojis and write it in HTML as a beautifully designed landing page. All right. Now, if you wanted to test it out, we can go over to the chat here. We can say get started. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to scrape the web. So it's scrape my homepage, and it's taking that live data, and now it's using that to create the HTML. And the output that we get back from the AI agent is going to be available once the workflow is done. Right? And you can move the chat up or down like that. Just click on the arrows pointing up and down. So we'll wait for that to load, and I'll show you what you can do with this. So for example, you could take live data from the web, you could take headlines, you could use that as research. You could also, for example, use it to create your own website. Anything that you can do with a web scraper, you can now plug that straight into an AI agent and you are ready to go on that. And I think this is super powerful to know because a lot of people love these AI tools, but most of them are based on outdated data, right? You got stuff like, for example, Claude that's outdated. You got these other AI tools that are outdated, whereas this can plug live into the internet. So we've got the HTML here to preview. If you go on to liveweave.com, we can preview the HTML that's rewritten from our main homepage. So I'm just going to delete the previous stuff that was here, plug that in, and we've got our landing page recreated like, right? And that was based on the live page that we have over here, right? There's no CSS in this, but there is the HTML content, which is what we've rewritten with the AI on Autopilot. When you're doing all this stuff, your only limit is your imagination. I've seen some absolutely mind-blowing workflows that I never actually thought was possible. And honestly, you can create something that's better than a SaaS tool. Like you can create your own startup SaaS in the space of minutes. You get faster and faster as you use this more. And additionally, it's all personalized to you and your situations. I don't code, I don't understand code, but I can easily build an AI agent that does. And I can create a team that's almost like a team of employees working together, but instead of waiting days or weeks for the work to get done, it gets done in one click, like you can see today. So with that, let's get straight into the rest of the course. I'm going to show you how to build AI agents using Gemini 2.0 completely for free. So first thing you want to do is go over to N8n, get your free trial for 2 weeks. And then also from there, you're going to grab a free API key. Now, the way to do that is you are going to go to ai.google.com, then you're going to go to get API key. From here, you're going to click on create API key, and this is completely free. And you can just click create an API key. Right? Once you've done that, you can actually plug that into an AI agent workflow like you can see inside N8n. Now, I'll give you access to all of the tutorials and templates from today inside the AI Profit Boardroom. But essentially what you can see here is we've got an AI agent ready to go, plugged in. We've tested, are you working? It is working. It's beautiful. It's easy. And it's very simple to create these one-click AI agents for free. Let me show you exactly how we set it up step by step. Delete that, we'll start from scratch just for you people at home watching. We're going to click on add a new step now, and inside the AI workflow you want to make sure that you have AI agents set up, right? Or what you can also do is just add a first step, and if you want to trigger the workflow with a chat trigger, so for example when you chat to your AI, then you can easily do that using this method right here. So what you can see is you're building out an agentic workflow, and it's really simple and easy inside N8n, and you just click on AI agent, right? So you can connect different apps and automate a lot of different things using this autonomous AI agent, right? So if we click on AI agent, so it's going to connect it over here. We've got the options. I'll come on to exactly how to set that up in a second, but essentially when a chat message is received, that will trigger the AI agent. And then inside the chat model over here, you want to select Google, and we're going to select Google Gemini chat model so that we can use the latest AI. Now, if you're wondering, okay, how do you connect the API that you got from Gemini inside here, right? So the way that you do that, create a new credential, and inside the Google Gemini account section here, you can leave the host as the default and then plug in your API key, which again, you get from AI Studio. Click get API key, create API key, and then you can plug that in. Pretty simple as stuff. Now, the good thing is once it's set up inside N8n, you got your credentials saved, they're ready to go. You can select them anytime. Now, the important thing here is that you're not going to use the default model selected. So it's going to start off with Gemini 1.0 Pro. Obviously, you don't want that. You want to go for 2.0 and the latest model. So you can see here, we've got different dates on the releases. So if we look at the drop down, for example, we've got like 2.0 Flash Experimental, 2.0 Flash, which is great, but we want the ones that have just been updated on February the 5th. So for example, we've got Gemini 2.0 Flashlight Preview and Gemini 2.0 Flashlight Preview 5th of February. All right, so those are the two that you want to focus on. So we'll go with this one for now, and that is ready to go and set up. If you want to just test that it works, once you've added your API key and the chat trigger, then you can go inside the chat and just say, are you working? Just to double check, okay, is this actually working? Have we got the AI assistant ready to go? And if it's set up correctly with the right API key and everything else, then it'll say, okay, yes, I'm working, I'm an AI and always ready to assist. Okay, all right, once we've done that, if you want to just reset the workspace and zoom out a bit, then I press Command 0, that just zooms me out, and now we can zoom out and look at everything. Now, from here, what you can actually do is just connect tools. So you don't just have to set this up as a standalone chatbot. You can, for example, like connect different apps, different tools over here. And this is super useful because now the AI agent can take the data from whatever tools you connect, and then you can easily feed in that information. So let's say, for example, you want to create a AI content creator using Gemini. We can take this prompt right here that I use for creating content. I'm going to plug that into our AI agent. And inside the add option section down here, we're going to select systems message. And instead of having the default, which is you are a helpful assistant, we're going to switch that now to create an SEO optimized article for this. Keyword equals the keyword I give you. We're going to test that step now. So if we go inside the chat and we'll say keyword equals what is SEO, now going to write that content for us, right? So you see here, we've got the whole article ready to go. And this is all customized to the prompt we plugged in earlier. So you can see it's actually created a full article. How long is that? That's 1,000 words with one little prompt. We just give it the keyword and it does everything else. So it's like, why is this? And the content itself was written really nicely. But you can see here how you can optimize blog content, SEO content, Twitter content, whatever you want, even YouTube scripts you could easily do. And it's written it really nicely. As you can see, it's also formatted it super nicely. And we've got bullet points, we've got SEO optimized content. And here's the other thing as well. It's actually personalized all the content. And bear in mind, this is free, right? This is not costing you anything because you're using the free API from Google and you're using the free trial from N8n. And if you don't like it, then you can get rid of it after 2 weeks if it doesn't get you the ROI, right? And you get expert help. Look, SEO can be complex. My agency has done this. If you want to join the SEO Elite Circle, go here. If you want to book in a call, go here. And if we click on that, it's created a personalized link to our funnels, right? So we've easily automated personalized content that's better than most humans can write, nicely formatted and ready to go into blog. And if we actually hide that chat now, we can select this to go out to a blog or a Shopify blog, right? So if we type in Shopify, you can connect this to your e-commerce store if you want to automate blog content, or if you want to automate content on WordPress, you can just click on WordPress right there. Let's have a look if it's got Webflow as well. I know a few people switched into that recently, including authority hackers, saw that recently. So yeah, you can connect this to Webflow as well. And then you can just automate really high quality content, personalized to you with all your internal links in, and boom shakalaka, you've done it for free using the free API from Google AI Studio. Crazy stuff. Now, if we type in WordPress over here, we're going to click WordPress, then we're going to click on create a post. And from here, we can select what we want to do. So we can say resource, post, operation, create, title. We can put as what is SEO or whatever your keyword is. And then inside the add field section here, you're going to add your content and you can add a slug as well. So I'm just going to delete slug for now because I don't want to manually fill it in. And then for the content itself, you can just grab the output like so. And what I'm actually going to do inside the AI agent as well is I'm going to say, write this as boom, right? And what that's going to do using the chat feature is just create super personalized content with internal links, nicely written for free in literally a minute, and then send it over to WordPress. Super easy. Crazy how powerful this is, right? So let's just test this works. All right, I'm just going to log into WordPress, happy days. And then we need to link the chat message to the AI agent that was unlinked a second ago. I'm going to go over to the chat. I'm going to refresh the chat, just delete all that. And we'll say, okay, keyword equals SEO training Japan. That's going to write the content. If we just lower that slightly so we can see what's happening. So basically, just to explain the workflow in case you're unsure what's going on here, basically, we've taken the chat message, which is just plugging in our keyword. The AI agent, the SEO AI agent, is taking Google Gemini, taking our prompt, which is keyword equals, writing the content, and then creating a post over at WordPress. Now, if we go to WordPress, so we'll go into posts. We've got the title of the article we just created just here. And if we click on preview, boom, look at that. So easy, simple to do. How long did that take? Literally just one single prompt plus a keyword. We're ready to go off that. Super powerful and easy to do. And then it said to us, okay, SEO training Japan, you guys crushing it in the Japanese market. And the content itself super nicely written. Additionally, what it's done is it's actually linked to our funnel pages where we want to send traffic and get clients. And it's personalized all the content to us as well. Obviously, you would edit it before you publish it. This is just a draft, which is the beauty of this. So you quality control it before you publish it. But you can create free AI SEO agents that can create blog content or create social media content, and you can do it using Gemini Pro, which is the latest model from Google. Absolutely amazing. So what we can also do here is if we move this over here, we'll move that over there, we'll move this over here. And what we're going to do from here is we're actually going to duplicate that AI agent, and I'm going to unlink this. So let's delete the link between the AI agent and that. And we're going to connect that to another AI agent, right? And so what this is doing now is we're going to have Google Gemini over here as well. Inside the Google Gemini chat model, we're going to select 2.0 and the February the 5th model, so the latest version of Gemini. And then we're going to say inside this AI agent, right, which is totally different from this one. This one's going to be for writing content, And this one's going to be for actually coming up with keywords. And so I'm going to say inside this AI agent, when I ask you for a keyword, give me a keyword that's related to my niche. One single keyword, no other responses. All right. And what I'm looking for here is like long tail, localized, simple, e.g. SEO training Japan, SEO training in London. All right. And you can plug this prompt in however you want. I'm just doing this for speed. Obviously, it's a YouTube video. We're not going to go too in depth on that. But basically what we're trying to do here is we're going to ask for a keyword that's going to run through the keyword agent. And I'm just going to rename this agent SEO keyword agent. We'll rename that. And then inside this agent, this is actually going to be our SEO content writer agent, right? And so now we can automate the keyword, send that over to our content writer agent, and then send that over to WordPress in one smooth workflow. Now, inside here, what you're going to do is you're going to execute the previous nodes. All right, so I'm going to click on play over here. Then we're going to open this up, and we're going to take the output from the previous keyword agent and plug that into our SEO content writer agent. So if I take the output, we're going to take that and we'll plug it into the keyword section over here. All right. And so now every time this agent runs, I'm going to say pick one keyword from this, use that to write the article. Okay, so now basically what it's going to do is it's going to pick one keyword from the outputs of our SEO keyword agent, and it's going to use that to write the article. So if we go back to the keyword agent, now we just need to really give it some clear instructions on exactly what it needs. So I'm going to put that inside the chat input, which is our prompt into the chat, and say, based on this, when I ask you for a keyword, give me one single keyword that's relevant to my niche, one single keyword, no other keywords. This will be used for an AI agent to write an article. Okay, long tail, localized, simple, SEO training Japan, SEO training in London. And you can personalize this prompt to you, your niche, whatever. I want to show you how personalized you can make it. We'll say, okay, now SEO training Dubai. All right, we'll put examples of keywords equals this. Okay, so now we're going to test that step. And you can see here the output. So it's giving us an output here. And so if we go into our chat model, we'll refresh the chat, so reset the session. I'm just going to hit save on that as well so we can save our progress. And if we run the whole workflow now, I'm going to run the chat. I'm going to say, okay, my niche equals SEO agency. And just going back to the SEO content writer agent. So if you want to edit that, click on that. You want to change the source for prompt from connected chat trigger mode to define below. And so now put keyword equals, and that's going to be the chat trigger for our SEO content writer agent. Right? So it's all linked together. And now we're going to test it. So I'm going to say my niche equals SEO agency. That's gone straight through the keyword agent, lightning fast. Now it's writing the content, and that should plug over to WordPress. So we'll just go back over to our posts inside WordPress now, and we've got the article ready to go. So let's click on preview, and boom, look at that, right? The AI picked out the article for us, the keyword. All we had to do was tell it our niche, right? And it did everything else. Now, if we go over to WordPress and the output here, now that we've got the keywords from the keyword node, we can actually plug those into the title, because that's picking the keyword for us, which is the title. And also if we add the field here, we can select slug, and then inside the slug, we can also put the keyword from the AI agent. So if we just grab that, we'll plug that in. And if you understand what we're doing here, I'm flying through it because obviously it's a YouTube video and this could be like an hour long. But essentially what we're doing here is we are literally automating our whole SEO strategy, not just the content, not just the publishing, not just the keyword research. Literally all we need to do is just go, here's my niche. The AI agent will figure out the keyword. Then the AI agent will figure out the content, and then it's going to send it to WordPress. So let's try that workflow again. I've already shown you it works, but I want to show you something else now. So we're going to click off that and we'll refresh the chat. So we've reset that. And then inside here, I can say, for example, okay, niche equals SEO agency. We'll hit enter. So that's feeding into the keyword agent. Now it's feeding into the content writer agent, and boom, we've just sent that to WordPress. N8n is by far the best platform, the easiest platform to use once you get your head around that. I started using this like 2 weeks ago properly. I actually started testing out about a year and a half ago, couldn't get my head around it. And now it is absolutely amazing. So you can see here, we've got a nicely formatted article. It's all personalized to us. We didn't even have to think about the keyword that we were going for. And the AI has come up with the keyword, come up with the content, personalize it to us, send it to WordPress, create a draft, and that is absolutely amazing. Now, this could be an infinite workflow, right? So you don't just have to send this to WordPress. If you wanted, you could add another action in that. So if you click here, you can actually send this over to Twitter as well. And you could, for example, like create a tweet, right? And you could automate all your social media content, not just your SEO content. You could even, for example, like create a video script for that and then send that over to whatever your favorite AI video content creator is. But the main thing about this is you are creating an absolutely amazing workflow based on this AI agent. So what I'm actually going to do is I will take the workflow from today, the JSON file, and if you want to import that into N8n yourself, so you can import the JSON. So then what I'll do is I'm going to plug this into the AI Profit Boardroom. If you go to SOPs, we'll add a new page, Autonomous Gemini 2.0 AI Agents, and we'll call that Gemini 2.0 AI SEO Agent likes. All right. And also what I'll do is I'll take the transcript from today, turn that into an SOP, and then you've got the SOP plus the template from today. Additionally, if you go inside the AI Profit Boardroom, because we're still building it out right now, for example, like Halima posted recently saying, I'm looking for assistance with designing an opt-in page, setting a blog, and building up a website. And so what we actually did was I just created custom SOPs and tutorials for them directly here, right? So if you want to be a part of this community and you actually want something customized to you, I'm building out these AI agents completely for you for free to help you, and you can get all of that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Normally you're paying agencies like $2,000 to $5,000 to do that for you. We did it within 24 hours for Halima just to help her because we want to build the best AI community in the world. So feel free to join that link in the comments description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits this month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot, feel free to book that free SEO strategy session in. In this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of SEO link building, answer any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Today, I'm going to show you how to build one-click DeepSeek AI agents using a new workflow I've never shown before. So what we're going to do is first place you're going to start is at N8n.io. And then once you're logged in, you're going to go to create workflow. And over here, you're going to add a new step. Now, inside this new step, what we're going to do is we're going to click on chat trigger, and that'll trigger our automation based on the actual chat, right? You can even make this publicly available if you want, so you can share it with people, that sort of thing. And by the way, I will give you the blueprint at the end of this video, so make sure you keep watching if you just want to steal this workflow from me. Now, from here, what we're going to do is inside this workflow, we're going to click on AI agent, right? So if we click on the plus sign, we can now create an AI agent using DeepSeek, and we can trigger that to run our automations. So we've set up the chat trigger, which means the automation will start as soon as you start chatting with the AI agent. How do you start chatting? You just click on chat down at the bottom. And then how do you add DeepSeek to the AI agent? Now, at this point, we need to connect DeepSeek. How do we do that? So if you're using an older version of N8n like me, we need to update the workspace. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we update this, hit save changes. The workspace will go offline for a minute or two, but then if we go back to our dashboard, once that's updated, which should just take a minute, then we can get back into the game. All right, so that was super quick and literally took about a minute. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the workflow. All right, and once you're back in your workflow, you're just going to hit on chat model. There's two ways you can implement DeepSeek, right? So they actually have a DeepSeek chat model where you can plug in the API directly, or what you can do is you can plug in OpenRouter. Now, the beauty of OpenRouter is that you can actually add in your credentials right here and just get an API key from OpenRouter. So if we go to keys over here and click create key and create your API key like so. Once you've added a new credential, plug in your API key, hit save. That's going to say connection tested successfully. Once you've done that, you can actually flick between many different models, right? So you don't have to be limited to just DeepSeek, but if you do want to use DeepSeek, then you actually get access to R1 Distilled Llama, which is a distilled version of DeepSeek R1, and that's completely free. And additionally, you get access to DeepSeek Chat for free as well, right? And you can have DeepSeek R1 for free as well. So you can leverage the power of DeepSeek and its API completely for free, and you can between many different models. We've got Mistral, NVIDIA, OpenChat, Qwen, etc. And so it's crazy what you get and how you can use it for free. For example, if we select DeepSeek Chat, like we now have that plugged into our AI agent. So if we go into chat and just check it works, we'll say, are you working? That's going to trigger the automation and we can see if OpenRouter is actually working or not. Inside here, we can test the AI agent. If we just say, are you working? We've got that running like so, AI agent. running through OpenRouter using DeepSeek, and that chat model was working right there. Now, I've selected DeepSeek Chat. You can choose whatever you want, but that's basically how it works step by step, right? Now, what we can do is inside the tool section, we can connect this to many different apps, and also we can give custom instructions to the AI agent. So if we delete that, we're going to refresh the chat here, and we'll hide that chat. What we're going to do from here is we're going to select add option, system message. We're going to say inside here, using a previous prompt that I've used for creating video transcript blogs, we're going to plug this directly into the system message over here. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a AI agent that can basically take the transcripts from my videos and then turn that into a blog post. Ranks for SEO. Now, you might say, okay, why would you do that? Well, actually, a lot of my transcripts written with AI are actually ranking really well. You can see, for example, all this traffic that we're getting with potential leads for our relevant keywords that you want to get on Google, right? So here's a keyword, here's a page, and these pages are written with AI using the transcript from our video example right here. The same, for example, inside Perplexity as well. We can rank our videos, but also our blog content inside these AI search engines, get more customers that way. Now, what you can also do is we can delete this model right here. So let's delete that, and we can stop the whole workflow. And then we can actually add DeepSeek directly in here as well. So if we click on DeepSeek chat model, then we're going to add a credential from DeepSeek directly. So it's gone to DeepSeek, we're going to the API platform. This is available at platform.deepseek.com. Then we're going to go over to API keys, create a new API key. And then inside the credentials here, we can just add those in. As you can see, hit save. That's connected. Nice and easy. Inside the AI agent, we've got the same prompt, same system message, etc. And we can take the chat input inside the system message section and plug that into the top. So now the system message is using this input, which is a video transcript. When I paste in my video transcript, write part 1 of the article. Okay. Then we're going to test this step. And then you can see here, for example, I did simplify the prompt just to make it faster for the sake of this demo video. But you can see here, we say create a blog from my video transcript that I give you. And then inside the response here is giving us a video transcript. We plug that into a new document. We've got the blog ready to go right there. Let's have a look at that. So it's taken that transcript and then created a nice little blog. So really simple to create these AI agents. And then what we can actually do is we can actually create multiple different AI agents and feed them together. So if we click on AI agent over here, this is going to take the input from the source prompt. Then we're going to add the system message, write the second part of this article, like so. This will just carry along in a long line. Now we're going to link this back to OpenRouter. Again, you can use DeepSeek if you want to. We'll select OpenRouter for now. Then we'll select DeepSeek Chat. DeepSeek Chat is a lot faster and it's better for writing content. You will get the output, but you will also get the thinking and reasoning behind that output, which is not very useful. So what's better to use is the DeepSeek version 3, which is the chat model right here. So what we've got over here is an AI agent that's programmed to create content, and then another AI agent, and you can link these both to DeepSeek inside these modules here so that you can write part 1 and part 2 of your article. Okay? So for example, if we open up this AI agent, you can see here we've got tools agent, then we've put source for the prompt defined below. And then we said, based on my video transcript that I pasted in, create a blog. And basically this .chat input is the chat transcript that I would take from Descript. So I've got my video transcript right here. And then I've taken that and plugged it directly into the chat. That's what's going to form part of the prompt. So this bit is dynamic and it changes every single time you write a prompt. Now inside the system message, these are the instructions on how to write the article, how to prompt it, etc., how to get the best out of it, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to call this transcript 1 part 1, and then we'll call this one part 2. So we've got part 1 and part 2, and then what we can actually do is, so we take the transcripts like so, and then we're going to link this to WordPress, create a post. I've already got my WordPress credentials plugged in right there. We'll just call this example 1 just so you can see how it works. And then inside the content section, we are going to take the transcript from part 1. Now, inside the WordPress section, what we're actually going to do is take the outputs, right, from the AI agents. So we've got transcript part 2, and you can just drag and drop that into the output section over here. And what that will do is actually take the outputs and plug them over into WordPress. So let's test this step, and you can see it's worked nicely. Now, if we refresh the page, we've got the preview ready to go. So if we click on preview, this is the example. And you can see we've got the content from the page. And actually, it's pretty long, right? That's all personalized to the transcript that we plugged in. If we check the word counter, it's 1,200 words. However, there's an issue here because what you can actually see is that it's written in Markdown, right? So you've got these hashtags and all that sort of thing. So what you would do inside the prompts earlier in the workflow, if we go back to N8n now, we'll press escape to get out of there. And inside here, we're going to say, okay, output HTML. So output in HTML. And we'll do the same inside part 2 as well. There we go. And that's just going to make it better formatting for when it goes over to WordPress. So if we go back inside the chat now and we'll test this out. So I'm going to grab this transcript. So plug that into the chat, hit enter. That's going to run the automation nicely. And now it's on to part 2 of the transcript and it's writing the content and then it's plugging it over to WordPress. So if we refresh WordPress now, we can preview this and that's running over to WordPress now. The one thing I want to say over here is that inside the chat, right, if you're loading in something quite big, like a long article, complex, like you can see right here, you've got multiple chains inside the steps, multiple agents working together, like these transcript agents, then you can use other APIs, right? For example, if you find like DeepSeek is too slow for you, then you could use something like Mistral, which is super fast, or you could use Google Flash Thinking, right? So it depends what you optimize it for. So we're just going to refresh the page now. We have the preview ready to go. Let's open this bad boy up. And now we have the content ready to go. Like you can see, it's all updated. It even has a CTA to join the free SEO Accelerator, which is our Facebook group. This is all customized to us, nicely formatted, ready to go. And obviously you would quality control it before you publish it, but you get the idea. You could also delete that and you could add like a different app. So for example, if we type in apps over here, so if we click the plus sign, we can actually type in, for example, like Google Docs. You could output that to Google Docs. If you actually wanted to publish it directly to LinkedIn, they do have this LinkedIn tool, and then you can click create a post. And if you want to delete any modules that you add, you can do that too. But yeah, super powerful and simple. Now, also based on this, what we can do is we can click on Advanced AI Agent, set up another DeepSeek module right here. And this can be our keyword agent, right? So let's say, for example, if we add OpenRouter, select DeepSeek, this can be our keyword agent that basically finds a relevant keyword and title for our article. So we'll click on define below inside this module. Then we're going to grab the output from the transcript and I'm going to say suggest a relevant SEO keyword for the article below. Should be short, relevant, plus SEO optimized. Okay, let's test that. And it's giving us the output, but you can see, and I think it's good for you to see this. So for example, like DeepSeek AI tutorial, but the problem with this is it's giving us multiple and it's giving us a lot of fluff around it. Whereas we just want the title, and I'll show you why in a second, because basically what we're going to do is plug this into WordPress. So I'm going to say, don't give me anything else but the keyword. And it should be one single keyword idea. All right. Pick the best one. Now we're going to test it out. And the good thing about this is you can test the steps, you can see what you think, you can trial each stage of the progress before you get what you want. Okay? So for example, it's come back to us with DeepSeek AI automation workflow. Perfect. We just don't want any quote marks. Let's test it out again. And the better you get your prompts, the less you need to edit the content and the outputs later, right? So the more time you spend on the prompts now, the less time you have to waste later getting the best outputs. So you can see here, for example, we've gone from a massive paragraph to 5 different keyword ideas to one single keyword idea, but it had a hyphen and quote marks, to like a title and a keyword that's ready to go. Boom, right? Now, if we zoom out of this workflow, we're going to go back into WordPress. And what we're going to do over here is we're going to take the keyword output and we're going to plug that into the title, right? We'll delete the previous title, which was example 1. We don't need that. And also inside here, we're going to add a field called slug. Inside the slug, we'll grab the output and that's going to be the URL of our article. So using that keyword stage, we've now got a title and a URL for our article. So for example, like juliangoldie.com/DeepSeek AI automation. Now, I saw a YouTube comment the other day that was asking, should you ask it to come up with an SEO title and a meta description and all that? I don't bother with all that, right? I want to make this as optimized and as fast as possible. And bear in mind, like 50% of the time, Google, when it comes to SEO, is just going to come up with a rewritten meta description based on the content. So most of the time, you don't need to specify a meta description. Most of the time, as long as the keyword is relevant, you're good to go. We've got that automation looking really good. Now, you might ask as well, like, why would you have 2 different sections for the transcript, right? If you're writing one single article. The problem with that is if you just have one section, it's just going to write 400 words, 500 words. The article is not going to be long. or as in-depth as is required for a good article. So it's better to have two different steps: get the article and the research and the depth you need, get the keyword so that you can filter that to WordPress. And the cool thing about this is it's all set up and ready to go now. So every time I create a video, I can create a nice transcript that's just ready to go over and over again. Every time I return to this workflow, it saves me so much time and we're absolutely flying. So now let's test this all out together. I'm just going to make sure I save this. Always save your progress on N8n, otherwise when you back out the workflow, it's not going to be there for you anymore. And then if you want to change the name of your workflow, like for example, video transcript creator, you just basically do that. Now if we go back to the chat and you want to delete the history, you can reset the history like, and then we can just plug in a video transcript. It's creating part 1. Now it's generating part 2. Seems to be going pretty smoothly so far. Now we've got the keyword generating and that's gone to WordPress. Wow. Now you might be saying as well, okay, but why not just use like one of those SEO tools that you can build AI with, or why not just use ChatGPT? But the thing is, the whole point of this is it's an automation, right? So you literally just paste a transcript and it customizes everything to you, your business, plugs it into WordPress, saves you a lot of time, inserts your internal links, writes it in HTML, writes it exactly how you want it, using the API that you want to use, and gives you so much freedom over the process, so much control, and the best possible outputs you can get. All right. So if we go to the article, we've got the title right there with the keyword, and it's chosen DeepSeek AI agent techniques. Automation has finished running through, like you can see. Perfect. Now, if we refresh the post section on WordPress, we can click on preview on the latest article, and it's picked the title. So the keyword tools agent has then plugged in the title right there. So we've got the SEO optimized keyword title. Additionally, that's going to be the slug of the article as well when we publish it. Then we've got a nicely written article. So it said, want to build killer content fast? Ever wondered how to automate your content creation using AI? Then you've come to the right place. I'm going to show you how to build one-click DeepSeek AI agents using a workflow that can seriously streamline your content process. And then you see it says, watch the video tutorial below, and you just insert the URL that you want to embed. Everything is nicely set up as well. As you can see, it's all nicely formatted. And additionally, it's linked out to our funnels. All right, so for example, this is all customized to us, our brand. It's giving us it's inserted some nice techniques, how to maximize efficiency, AI tools, and then also a CTA at the end, plus some FAQs again, and that was super simple and easy to do. Now, before you publish, of course, you want to always quality control anything that is client facing in your business. So I've got a checklist that will include inside the AI Profit Boardroom along with the workflow from today. But that's basically how you can build like DeepSeek AI agents. So you can customize it to whatever you want. So today, for example, I wanted to create an AI agent that could take my video transcripts into SEO optimized articles. But basically any repetitive process that you're using day in, day out, you can now automate using DeepSeek, and it's very linear. Plus, it's just like drag and drop. There's no coding involved here. It's absolutely amazing. The other thing I tend to find is it's a lot simpler and breaks less. The Zapier constantly gives you errors, and Make.com is a lot more complicated to set up. A lot more things can go wrong. Whereas N8n, once you get your head around it, it's just absolutely amazing. It's really powerful. Now, some other cool stuff as well you can do. If we go back to the chat trigger over here, we can actually click on make chat publicly available. If we select that URL, it's now ready for us to just start using as a chatbot plugged into our N8n automation, right? And then you can change the initial message here. So for example, you can say, hi there, what's the video transcript you want to use? You can have an authentication as well. So if you want to password protect that, you can. Then if we save that, click on the URL, you can see inside the chat here is, hi there, what's the video transcript you want to use? And then you just plug in the video transcript that you want to create content from. As an example of that, we've just pasted in this video transcript. It's running the automation like so. We'll just wait for that to roll out. And then once that automation is finished, it will plug it into WordPress. Pretty simple and easy to use. So I'm just going to unselect. And then if you don't want it to be available anymore, just deselect, make chat publicly available. But yeah, that's basically it. Now, what you could even do is you could have another branch off here, and you could say, okay, Twitter, create a tweet. And then based on the video transcript that you created a blog around, you could also, for example, like create LinkedIn content or Twitter content or whatever platform you prefer to post on. So there's loads and loads of potential to this, so much power. But something like that would normally take me like 5 to 10 minutes going back and forth with Claude. So for example, like normally I'm using this project inside Claude for creating blogs around my YouTube videos. I can now easily automate inside N8n and the outputs are going to be 10 times better. So crazy stuff. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to download the JSON file. And if you want access to that, we'll plug that inside the classroom, inside the SEPs, and then we'll add a new section called DeepSeek AI Agents. And we could just upload a file here. We'll call that video transcript creator. And then if you want access to that and my SEO checklist for quality control in your content, you can get that directly inside the AI Profit Boardroom, along with an AI crash course, recommended watches, all my best SEPs, and weekly calls directly with me, plus a community that you can post in and ask for help anytime. So feel free to join that link in the comments description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to put in. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors per month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on Autopilot. And this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets to SEO link building, or answer any questions you have one-to-one. You learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors to link building, and how to turn SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients like you see right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. These new Google Gemini 2.0 computer use agents are absolutely insane. These can basically go off, use your laptop, surf the internet, do whatever task you wanted to, automate it in one click. I'll show you exactly how. So what you can see here is we've got the LM configuration as the new model of Gemini, so you can select which model of Gemini we want. And obviously the latest 2.0 update just came out in the last few days. And if we go over to run agent, we'll say, okay, go to .com and tell me where I can buy sleeves for my t-shirt. All right. And then we'll hit run agent. What this is going to go off and do, like you can see over here, if we open this up, is it's now going to start going off using Google, automating whatever task we give it. Literally just took one click, right? So you can see I'm not doing anything. I'm not typing anything. And you can see how it's analyzing the page because it highlights the different visual elements. And then it's, okay, let's figure out where we can get this man sleeves for his t-shirt, all right? And you can even read, for example, Google Maps. And if we go over to the results section over here, not only do we have the latest recording from what we just did with the agent, right? So you can see that's a 31-second recorded, but also what you can see here is actually giving us the details of where we can buy sleeves for our t-shirt. All right, absolutely amazing what you can do with 2025. This didn't cost us a penny. There's also some really cool new features, for example, like deep research, and you can also configure many different LLMs, right? So you don't have to use Google if you don't want to. I would say it's probably the easiest one, and I'll show you how to set it up in a second. And also you've got a choice between OpenAI, Anthropic, DeepSeek, Google, Llama as well, Mistral as well. Now, one of the best things about Google is not only that it's a very new model, and not only is it completely free, but also it seems to work much better than something like DeepSeek, where typically if you use DeepSeek as the API, so if you select DeepSeek down there, the problem with that is it doesn't have vision, right? So it's not going to be able to analyze the page. And also, if you're using DeepSeek R1 inside the chat right here, the problem with that is that if you're using the reasoning model, then it's going to take a lot longer for the responses because it's going to have to think in multiple steps before it takes any action. Whereas if you give Gemini 2.0 Flash Experimental the job, it's like, boom, let's go off and do our magic. And all you need to do is plug in the API key. Now, if you're wondering, okay, how do I get the API key? Then you just go to ai.studio.google.com and you can grab an API key completely for free here. You just click create an API key. That's it, simple as. And then you plug that in down here. You leave the endpoint blank and you're good to go. And then you can select whichever model you want. And also you might be wondering, okay, but how do you actually get the browser use web UI? So here's the actual page. This is the GitHub, right? So you can install this locally. That's another benefit to this is if it's stored locally, it's more private, etc. And also you can use your own custom browser, right? So it says you can use your own browser with our tool, eliminating the need to log into sites or deal with other authentication challenges. This feature also supports high definition screen recording. You can also choose to keep the browser window open between AI tasks so it doesn't automatically complete it. And you can see the history of AI interactions. And if you scroll down here, they've got the steps on how to set it up locally. Like you can see, I'm running down here in the terminal, right? Now, if you want to see the exact steps on how I set it up, I'll include that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments and description. If you want to get access to that, we'll just go to Classroom over here, SEPs, and you get all the video notes from today directly in there. So if you want to follow the instructions step by step, we've got all the links. And we've got the Details on how to set it up in the Mac, along with all these other modules, including our crash course plus weekly coaching with me. So let's get straight back into this. Link in the comments description to that AI Profit Boardroom. What we can also do over here is we can select deep research and we can actually create a deep research report. Now, you might be wondering, okay, what does that even mean? So inside ChatGPT, for example, they have this deep research option, right? You click that and it will take about 10 minutes to generate a very deep research report that's absolutely amazing, but it's going to cost you $2,400 per year because it's $200 per month for the ChatGPT Pro plan, which is where you get access to deep research. Really good feature, but expensive and unaffordable for a lot of people, right? And so if you go to the deep research section in here, you can actually use this for free and create a deep research report using the API that you plug into the browser you use web UI, right? So you can see now it's beginning to do the research. It's searching the web, right? This is the other thing, is it's connecting Google's Gemini 2.0, which is not normally connected to the web. And then it's going and it's doing all the research like you can see, and it's just browsing the web whilst we don't do anything. And the other cool thing about this is if you have it open in a different window, like you can see right here. So this is running on Chromium, which is a totally separate browser to our main Chrome. So it's like a virtual environment. Then it's going to go off, it's going to do the research. You can do whatever work you want to do on your own separate tabs. And then you come back in 10, 20 minutes, boom, shakalaka, you've got the deep research ready to go. Now, if you want to see, okay, what's going on? And then you can see here it's processing the data in the background. Once this is done, obviously it's going to take anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes to get that back to us. And then we can download the research report once it's done. Also, you can see now, if we go back here, it's already doing the research, it's accessing different papers around the web. And this is all whilst I'm recording a video talking to you. All right, it's just in the background doing its magic, searching the web. And again, this is completely free. Plus, when I set this up this morning, between setting up web UI and inserting the API for Google AI Studio, it literally took me like 5 minutes, right? It's so quick and fast to use these, especially once you get a bit of experience setting this all up. Now, inside the run agent section as well, you can also add some additional information. So like some hints on to help the LLM complete tasks. So for example, potentially you could give it like some login details if you feel comfortable with that, and then it can go off and start logging into different places and doing its magic. Obviously, if you're scared about privacy, you wouldn't do that. And then also you can click here and select use your own browser, right? So this is how you can configure the browser settings inside user web UI to just go off and start using your own browser so that you don't need to log in for it. Then because we're using a vision module, aka because the API from Google Gemini can actually see your screen and interact with it and understand what's going on, then you can select use vision here, which you can't get with many other models. There's not many models that use vision as multi to be able to operate the internet. And also here you can change the actions per step. So you can say, okay, I want you to take 10 actions per step maximum. So that, for example, if you're using something like OpenAI, then you don't get rinsed on the credits. And also, if you're using a free API, then you can have more actions if you want to go more in depth without it getting stuck. You can also change the temperatures and the amount of randomness in the model outputs. And you can even load like a previous config file, right? So if you've got like a configuration that you really like, every time you set this up locally, let's say I close the terminal and then have to set this up again, then I can load the previous config file and we're good to go. Now, I did stock the deep research early just because I'm recording the video. I don't want to be waiting 20 or 30 minutes to complete the video before we get back to it. But here's what we got back from the deep research agent. So it's actually formatted it really nicely. It's created a nice report. Bear in mind, I only let it run for 120 seconds and it already did all of this. If we go to the word counter, it's already come back with 700 words of research connected to them. And that is very useful. That's an actual use case. I know a lot of people say with agents, they don't have a use case or that sort of thing, but actually this does. Research is something, particularly if you're a content creator or a business owner, you're going to be doing like every single week or every single month. So super powerful to do, very useful to have it there. So what we're testing out now, as I've said, go to llamacoder.together.ai and build out a to-do list app. And you can see it's already typing that out using Qwen 2.5 Coder. It's just running in the background, building out an app for us. I can't even code, but I'm getting an AI agent to do it for us. It's doing this all locally. It's not costing us a penny. Now, if you see it struggling like that, for example, what we can say inside the context, we can say, wait 15 seconds for the coder to build out the app, plus be patient, man. You can't rush greatness, all right? Then hit run agent. Now at this point, you're probably going, okay, that's great. Can code for you, can build apps for you, but it's using Chromium, which is not logged in with your current sessions. You can't interact with your actual environment. Maybe some people watching this are feeling a little bit crazy and want to test something out. So what you can actually do is you can set up the env file inside that. I've got details on how to do that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And if you select use your own browser, run your Chrome in debug mode, and set up the env file correctly, then what you can actually do is just get the agent to run directly in your Chrome browser, which is absolutely wild stuff. Let me show you an example of this, right? So if we say now, inside run agent, go to aistudio.google.com/new chat, start chatting with the AI. Right. And we've got the LM configuration as Google Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental. We're going to run the agent inside this current browser session so that the AI is speaking to the other AI. And we just get really meta here. So if we run the agent like that's going to open up a new tab. Now you can see it's navigated to the correct window and it's analyzing the screen. It's hello AI, right? And by the way, this is really weird now because you got an AI speaking to an AI. And they're just having a cheeky chat back and forth, aren't they? So start. And it's messing around. It seems to be messing around with the temperature. It's having a little conversation, a little bit of small talk. And it's what can you do? And so now the AIs are both going back and forth with each other. And it's can you generate images? All right. So you can see how the AI can interact with another AI. And then what you've got is an army, like a swarm of AI agents all working together to get whatever workflows you want to get done, right? So this is really a previous limitation of AI. So you couldn't get it to generate blogs for you without you being there to supervise it. But with this method, you could go off, you could create a cup of tea, and who knows what they're talking about in the background. Now, I don't recommend it. This is probably not a safe way to use AI, particularly if you've got all your logins, all your details stored inside the browser. But I would take that risk on for you just to show you how crazy this can be. And then one day, maybe I'll get sleeves on my t-shirt. All right. I'm going to stop that browser session for now. But you get the idea. If we go over to results now, you can see that it's giving us the final results and what happened, how it worked, etc. And that was just with a super basic prompt. So if I say go to aistudio.google.com and then create the best possible SEO article you can about AI SEO with Gemini 2.0, and we'll say, no, make sure it's beautifully formatted, conversational, add some emoji tonality, plus add some emojis / subheadings. So we'll run the agent, and now we can basically automate anything inside that existing browser for this agent to just go off and do stuff. For example, if you actually said, okay, go over to Amazon and order something for me, like I'm pretty sure it could do it for you if you already logged into Amazon directly on there. Or for example, let's say you wanted it to watch a YouTube video and then tell you exactly, okay, what happened on there, what was going on, etc. Then it could probably do that too. At this point, because it's logged into your browser, because it's completely free, it's super fast, it can use AI directly, etc. You can really do some interesting stuff. And I think this is the way things are going. Give it a few months, Google, ChatGPT, etc. They're all going to release their own versions of this. So you can see here, for example, like the AI is saying, write an article about SEO. It's going to hit run on that. I didn't type that in. The AI agent did that directly. We've got the blog written and drafted, like you can see. And that was super simple and easy to do, right? The other thing to note here is if you switch back to your tab, let's test something else out now. So I'm going to say, go to YouTube and analyze my competitor's channel, Julian Goldie, and give me a really in-depth analysis of his channel. We'll run the agent. So it's going off to YouTube now. And here's the other thing, right? If we actually go to a new tab, so I'm inside the web UI tab now, but you can see it's still running in the background, right? So it's still processing information inside that extra tab that you've got. And if we switch back to it, it's searching Julian Goldie SEO, it's going off, it's doing the same thing. It's wild stuff. You can see it's now browsing YouTube, it's seeing what's happening, etc. It's analyzing my channel. And this is the worst it's ever going to be, let's be honest. You can actually manually intervene as well. So you can see it's scrolling through the page, it's doing its own magic, but you can manually intervene and click off or stop it if you need to. But basically you can see how it's analyzing the page, and it can scroll up and down the page. You can analyze, you can look at the images with its vision mode. You can scroll through, see everything that's happening here and understand what's going on. So thanks so much for watching. That was basically how to use Google and its free API that was just recently released. Inside the browser, use web UI, and then you can get these agents to control your browser, go off and do tasks, automate basically any sort of basic admin tasks that you want. It can do research, deep research. Even just that feature alone is saving you $200 per month. And you can see how it's connected to the internet and how these AI agents work, plus how to set them up using Web UI. Now, if you want all the instructions on how to set up the terminal commands, how to get this running in your own browser, and also all of my best videos and tutorials and recipes on exactly how to use AI automation to make more money online and grow your business, feel free to get that link in the comments description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors more and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales and Autopilot, feel free to book that in. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of SEO link building, or answer any questions you have. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building, and how to 10x SEO and traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients, like you can see right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. The new GitHub Copilot agent mode is absolutely insane, and it is free to get access to. I'm not paying for this plan. And you can see here, we've got access to GitHub Copilot Chat. Now I'm going to show you exactly what you can build with it, how you can use it. They've got two different modes. They've just updated it to agent mode as well. And if we select between edit mode, we actually get free access to GPT-o3 mini preview, along with Claude 3.5 Sonnet and Gemini 2.0 Flash. And they are free and available to use. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can get this set up. First thing you want to do is make sure that you download Visual Studio Code Insiders. That is completely free. You can download it on their website. I'll include the links inside the recipe as well today. And then once you've done that, you want to make sure that you go down to extensions once you've installed this, and then make sure that you have GitHub Copilot installed like you can see right here. Additionally, we can also install Cline, and this can help you build apps, tools, websites, etc. If we install the extension Cline, which is also free, so we're going to click Trust, Publisher, and Install. Then we go into the settings. Down here, we can select Visual Code LM API, and then we can actually get free access to code inside Client 3.3 using O3 Mini, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and you are not paying for these, right? Pretty crazy stuff. So let me show you exactly how you can build apps, websites, tools with this process. So the first way that we're going to do this is we're going to get a prompt from my custom GPT. If you want free access to this, it will be inside the recipe in the video notes from today. We're going to say, for example, create an AI automation consultancy landing page, telling me what I do, etc. This will be used within Hub Copilot. And then we'll just get the prompt from this. This is one of the best ways you can generate prompts for creating websites and everything else, because you're leveraging the power of the AI to come up with the most relevant prompt for you so that you can easily and quickly build this out. You could also include information about you, who you are, etc. And if we go back to Copilot now, inside Visual Studio Code, it's important to note that you do need insiders for this. You need Visual Studio Code insiders for this. And then we're going to start using agent mode over here. We'll plug the prompt in. Also here as well, just to note, you've got the chat version, you've got Copilot edits, right? Two different modes right there. Something else to know is that with the free plan, you get 2,000 completions plus 50 chat requests. If you're using the paid plan, you get a lot more. But for most people, they won't even go over those sort of limits. Then what we've done is we've taken the code from Copilot, as you can see, plugged that into the edit mode, it's created the HTML over here, and we've got that good to go. And now if we switch to agent mode, which you can do down here, so you can select between edit and agent, say now run this. Just make sure when you're doing this, if you're creating a new file from scratch, you would make sure you save the file. This is how easy it is. So for example, we've said create a website that looks like eBay using the agentic mode, and it's setting up the CSS and the HTML structure. And if you want to open up a new folder, and let's say you just want to store your files all in one place, you can click on open, set up a new folder. And then if you want to toggle the Copilot on and off, just click on open chat over here, and that'll start generating stuff for you. Now you'll see two different icons right here. So let me zoom in for you so it's a bit more obvious. But you've got the chat and you've got the Copilot edits. So Copilot edits is where you're going to find the agent, and you can switch between edit mode and agent mode, right? So if we go to agent mode, and then we'll say something like, okay, create a website that looks like eBay, it's just going to start setting that project up for us. Now what you can see is it's creating the files for the project at the top. And if you need to switch between the files, like all you do is you click on the top left over here where it says Explorer, and this is where you can see your project files. It can be a little bit confusing, but that's basically how you use this. And then if you click on accept all the changes, we can click done. And then if we click run this, it will open it up in your browser like you can see right here. If we say, okay, create a beautiful SEO landing page, I'll plug in some information about me, who I am, etc. and then it will start going off and coding this. And the good thing about agent mode is that you can self-iterate, right? So it can see the errors, it can see any problems in the project and then go off and fix them. So you see here how it says apply and edits and it gives us a percentage. You can basically like scan through all your code and be like, okay, we're going to edit this, edit that, etc. Here's what we need to improve. Here's how we can change the existing code that we've got. And also the cool thing about this is because it can make edits itself, it can just go off, code the project, you can go and do something else, and then in the background this is running and coding and editing. Again, I'm not clicking anything or typing anything, but we can build all sorts of apps and that sort of thing. And again, I have not paid a single penny for any of this. Claude 3.5 Sonnet is normally a paid API, but it's free with Visual Studio Code within the limits, and it's now coding out the style CSS. The other benefit of this, say versus something like bold.new, is that it's hosted locally, so you've got the project folder with all the files, and then you can come back to it later. It's now finished running that project, and it's going to offer to run this in the terminal. So we open it up, and there's our website ready to go. Pretty nice, actually, to be fair. I think it's got links to all our social media accounts, nice and clean, full landing page ready to go. So you even insert some icons and that sort of thing. And then you can build out the rest of the pages later. So if you wanted to build out the rest of the website, you just feel like, okay, now create the About Me page, and the agent can just go off and do that. Now, whilst that's running in the background, we can also run a new window. So if you right click the icon and then open up a new window, you can open up another project and then code like multiple pages, multiple websites, etc., all at the same time, because this is running on autopilot as an agent in the background. So for example, if we open up a new folder and then we go over to edit mode, we'll select GPT-03 Mini, just test it out, see what that's like. Obviously that only came out, about less than 2 weeks ago. It's the newest API from OpenAI, normally paid. We get it for free inside GitHub Copilot, and that's just going to go off and do its magic. Now we've got the About Me page on the other website ready to go, so let's click and open this. And there we go, we have the About Me page built out on the website. So we've got the home page ready to go, and then we've also got the About Me page built out as well. And it wrote all of this content just by itself. The other thing as well, like you can attach images to the project later and insert those in. But yeah, it's pretty nicely formatted as well. Includes some information about us, our achievements, information about me, etc. We're good to go on that. We can also take the files from the project and then just run it through Liveweave, especially if it's a simple one like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So if we go back to the project, we've taken the HTML already. Now we're going to take the style CSS, go back to liveweave.com, plug that in down here, and then grab the JavaScript as well for the game. And now we have our game built out, collect the backlinks game. You can see the score is updating in the background with the website ready to go, like you can see. And if we go back to that project down here, we can switch to Claude 3.5 Sonnet for actually improving the front end, right? So for example, GPT-03 Mini, it will do a great job for coding the back end. But like you can see, like the design is not that nice when you actually land on the page. So even though it's functional, it doesn't look that nice. So the way that you can improve that is if we go back here and we say, okay, improve the design of the website, make it more beautiful, modern, sleek, and interesting. It's now going to start editing the page like you see. So it's generating the edits, going through the page, figuring out what to improve. And we don't have to do anything, right? It's really bridged the gap between someone who can't code but has an idea and just getting that implemented really quickly. Within the space of 15 minutes of testing this out and using it, it's really quick and easy to figure out, okay, here's how you use it, here's how it works, etc. And also you can see it's generating the edits for the style CSS and index HTML at the same time and improving the JS. So it seems to be able to edit like multiple pages at the same time, which is pretty cool. Now we can take that, go back to Liveweave, or grab the JavaScript again, plug that in here, and already it's looking a lot nicer. Right, so if you saw what we previously had versus now, it looks a lot nicer. Even the design of the game looks a lot nicer. So Claude 3.5 Sonnet is probably your best bet for the front end, and for the back end, GPT-03 Mini does the job. So if we go back to this page now, we've got the game ready to go. I think the goal is collect the green ones, avoid the red ones. Game over if you hit the red ones. That's it. That's how to build a game and a website at the same time for free using Copilot and AI in one single prompt. Pretty crazy stuff. And the way that we generated this idea right here was again using this prompt forge AI method, which is a custom GPT I built specifically for prompting bolt.new, Copilot, client, etc. to get really good outputs. If you want access to that, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom, along with our crash course on how to make money and save time with AI. And if you go to the SEP section over here, you will find the link to the GPT. Now, if you want to get access for free directly to Claude 3.5 Sonnet and to code big projects out with that, what you can actually do is if you go to Klein, so make sure you've got Klein 3.3 installed inside the extensions marketplace. You go to extensions, Klein, install that. Once you've done that, go down to Klein here. And then inside your settings, so click the cog in the top right, select VS Code LM API. And then in this list, you're going to find, for example, Copilot, GPT 4, 4.0 Mini, 4.0, 03 Mini, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and Gemini 2.0 Flash. Now, you can also insert instructions here, so you can insert custom instructions on how to use it. Let me show you some examples of what I've used previously. So inside here, inside the custom instructions, I've said, you're a coder for Goldie Agency, information about us, here's what we do, here's the links to our funnels, here's what to use, etc. You can also include like your brand colors and also information about your social media links. Each project can actually include inside the design. So let's test, for example, inside Client 3.3, we said build out a to-do list. We're using Visual Studio Code and Claude 3.5 Sonnet. We'll allow that. We'll close Copilot for now. And you can see it's based on this task to build a to-do list app in the current environment. And it's using the custom instructions that we gave it before. Now it's building out the file, as you can see. So it's creating the index.html. And the good thing about Client as well is that you can set it on auto approve. So you don't need to keep clicking approve or anything like that. It's just going to approve and build everything out for you. And then you've got the files stored locally. So for example, it switched from building out the index.html to the style CSS. And then eventually it will add a JavaScript for the functionality of the actual app. Now it's ready to go. So if we hit run command, that's going to open up the project. Now we've got the project ready to go. So it's created the whole landing page, etc. And it's given us some example tasks already. Let's test if this works. So we'll say test client 3.3, add the task, and you can see it's added perfectly. Plus, we've got a link to our free SEO strategy session on the page. And I think one of the best ways to use this is like you find recommended tools, games, apps, etc. that people are searching for inside your niche. And then you can easily create these mini landing pages or mini websites, host them, rank them, quite easy to do. So as an example of this, it's a great lead generation method. So if we put, for example, SEO game, you can see here people searching that on Google. As an SEO agency, we could easily create this, build it out with Copilot or Client 3.3, get it hosted, and boom, we've got a new lead generation method. Same, for example, if we put calculator, there's so many terms you can rank for around that. And obviously, whatever industry you're in, you would change this, right? So if you're in the finance niche, you can put finance calculator. Or if you're in the health niche, you can put health calculator or health game. That's actually pretty easy to rank for, decent traffic potential. And there's a bunch of other keyword ideas down here. It's so easy to build out these apps, tools, websites, games, etc. using a combination of Client 3.3 or GitHub Copilot. And by the way, if you're wondering, okay, like how do you get this hosted? For example, if we open this up, if we reveal that in Finder, we've got the project files right here. Now, if we go to Netlify, and this is a service someone could sell easily, is building out landing pages or apps or tools for a client. You can just go to add a new site, import from an existing project, Netlify drop, grab that folder from before, drag it in there, and then you can just easily deploy your files like you can see. And that literally took a minute or two. If we open that up, we've now got this hosted on a subdomain. We can share this with people. For example, if we open this up in a new incognito tab, we've now got a subdomain hosted with our to-do list or our game or our tool, and we built it all out for free. Even hosting it on the subdomain on Netlify is completely free. And just to be clear here, you're not paying for Client, you're not paying for Copilot, or I haven't paid for it, and you've seen how much I've used it today. You're not paying for Visual Studio Code Insider, you're not paying to host it on a subdomain. Like, all of this is free. It's pretty wild stuff. Plus, you've got it hosted locally, so you can come back to the project whenever you want. And if you've never coded before, you could get this to work within a day. You can figure this stuff out. So thanks so much for watching. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to plug in all the SOPs, all the links, and all the prompts from today directly inside the AI Profit Boardroom. If you go inside the classroom, you get a ton of courses here, but we're actually going to plug this inside the SOP section, along with all my latest video SOPs. If we add a new page here called Hub Copilot Agent Mode, you can find a link to our custom GPT for programming these pretty easily. If you want the custom instructions for client, I've added that inside here as well. So you can just personalize those and copy and paste them in. If you want the example prompt from the game, I've also plugged that in, along with a link to an example site that we built just now, as you can see. And if you want the step-by-step instructions on exactly how you or your team or your virtual assistant can set all of this up for you, you could sell this as a service. You could do it for yourself. You could scale lots of tools out internally to save your team time. then I've plugged in the SOP directly into the video notes from today. That's inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month, feel free to book that in, link in the comments description. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan, so you'll get a custom tailored link building plan so you can generate more leads, sales, and profits to your website. You'll discover the secrets to SEO link building, or answer any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building, and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. DeepSeek computer use agents are absolutely insane, and they're completely free. So what you can actually do is you can install browser use web UI, and this is running locally on our terminal, like you can see right here. And basically, this is a free AI agent that you can install using DeepSeek to basically run your browser and run commands. So for example, if we go into LM configuration over here, you will see that we have Llama, and then inside Llama, they've just got a new update where you can actually have Llama with DeepSeek R114B or DeepSeek R132B running in the background. And then from here, you can just run the agent and just ask it to go off and do whatever you want. So as an example of this, we can even use our own browser. And if you're wondering, okay, how do you set up DeepSeek and Llama? This is pretty simple to do. All you're going to do is you're going to download Llama. This is completely free and it's like a one-click install. Then once you've done that, you're going to go to DeepSeek R1. Then you're going to select B from the drop-down list, copy that code, go over to terminal, start a new window. All right, so right-click the icon, start a new window, plug that in. Make sure you have Llama 2 running, so it will show up with the icon right there. Plug that in, and now you have DeepSeek R114B running along with browser use web UI ready to go. Now that is a pretty powerful model. If you're struggling to run that locally, then you can always press Control and D. That'll close the terminal like you can see, so you can stop it running. And then what you can do instead, if you prefer, is you can actually go over to AI Studio in Google, grab a new API key from Google, which is completely free as well, and then go over to LM configuration. You're going to select Google from the list, and you can plug in your API key down here. All right. But whether you're using DeepSeek, you can also use DeepSeek and the API right here. But obviously, you have to understand that's going to cost money. Whereas if you're running Llama locally with DeepSeek and also supports Qwen and Llama 2 and DeepSeek R1, then that's completely free. So this is a free way to get access to the browser agent. Now, here's the other thing, right? ChatGPT Operator, which is the OpenAI release from browser agents, this, which is OpenAI's equivalent basically to browser use web UI, is only available to pro users, and it costs $200 per month. But by watching this and understanding how you can use browser use web UI instead with Llama, then you're saving yourself $200 per month. And not only that, ChatGPT and OpenAI also released deep research agents. But even if you're paying $200 per month, you're limited to 3 searches per day. So if you want to use this feature, it's going to cost you $200 per month, and then you can only have 3 searches per day. You are limited to 100 per month. Instead, what you can do is you can go over to browser use web UI, and once you've configured your API, you can then go over to deep research, and you can ask it to research whatever you want. And that's basically going to use the internet to do a lot of research on whatever you're trying to find information about, and it will even give you a research report. But either way, number 1, you get to select the API you can run. Number 2, it's completely local, so it's more private. Number 3, you can run the agent in your browser and get it to do tasks. And number 4, you can use deep research and download the research reports. So let me show you exactly how this works step by step. So if you just want to use the agent, and let's say, for example, you just want to go to google.com and check the S&P 500 shares today. All right, we can run the agent. You can see it's processing over here. So we've got the information processing. And now you can see inside our own browser, look, I'm not typing anything out. You can get DeepSeek or you can get whatever API you want to use the internet. And this is all whilst it's logged in to your existing account. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't have it. But I want to take that risk for you. And you can see here now it's interacting directly inside my Chrome. It's not like in a virtual environment, which you can run by default. I'll show you how to set it up in a second, but this is actually inside my main Chrome. Crazy stuff. All right. And then if you go to results, you'll see the information from the prompt that you just ran. Additionally, you can also go to recordings and you can watch back your recordings. By the way, if you want to know exactly how to set this up step by step, I've got it inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. If you go to the SP section, then scroll down to the Computer Use Agent section, you can get all the instructions and the terminal commands I use to not just set it up, but also to set it up inside Chrome, because you have to give it a special command for doing that. And if you don't want to use your own browser, because obviously it is a little bit dangerous, you are letting an AI control your whole browser, then you would deselect that. So let me show you an example. So if we go back to Run Agent now, and we'll say, okay, go to Twitter and create an interesting tweet about SEO, then post it. Let's see if it can actually do that. I imagine that it's probably going to get stuck before it can post, but it might just draft it. So let's see what happens next. It's going over to Twitter, so it's navigating there. It's figuring out what's popping, what's going on. So you can see how it's selecting the whole screen and using its mode to really understand what's happening on screen. Now it's actually writing. This is crazy. This is crazy stuff. And now it is analyzing the page. Is it going to post it? Now you can see if we go back to the model thoughts, it didn't post it. I think it's going to have limits on what it can do, depending on which API you use. I'm pretty sure if you use something like DeepSeek, it's probably just going to post it straight out. But you can see here, you've got the model thoughts. So it's told you exactly what it's doing, how it's doing it, what it wrote, etc. It was incredibly fast at typing, actually. That was unbelievable. Now, if you want to stop at any time, you can just click stop, and that will stop the AI agent. Let's test something else out now. So I'm going to say, go to Amazon and find me the Link Building Mastery book by Julian Goldie. Let's see if it does it. So we'll run the agent now. You can see it's running there. So you're going to see if, you're going to know if it's working or not just by the bottom. And also, this can just work in the background, right? So whilst you're running this, you can just carry on doing whatever you want to do. So it's going to run in a new tab, separate tab, like you can see, and it's going to figure out, okay, here's what we're doing, here's how we're doing it, right? You can see it's searching for the book, it's analyzing which book to click, and then you can see in the final results, so go to the results tab, it says, the book Link Building Mastery, How to Rank Higher, Grow Your SEO Traffic and Build Authority with Backlinks by Julian Goldie is found, right? So it read the whole title from the book, found it, boom, ready to go. So it actually has a use case now because it can go off. It can draft messages for you on Twitter. It could probably go onto WordPress for you if you wanted to and start drafting a post. And it can also do deep research. So for example, if we say, okay, research how AI is impacting the SEO industry and websites in general, we're going to run the deep research report like so. You can now see it's running, and it's just going to open up a new tab and start doing the research for us. So honestly, I think it's getting to the point now where it can do a lot for you, right? It can open multiple tabs. It can control your browser with all your logins in there. It can write tweets for you and draft them, so you just have to hit post. It can search for stuff on Amazon. It can build like full research reports like you can see. And it can do this all in the background whilst you do something else. As you can see, this is still researching, still looking things up in the background whilst we get other stuff done. Now, another AI browser, I want to show you this quickly because a lot of people are actually saying this is better than the ChatGPT operator as well, which is Convergence. And basically, you can get AI to complete your tasks here. Now, this is basically like a fully automated AI assistant. So, for example, let's say we want to summarize the top news stories today. We can just go to Daily News for me, and it already has these workflows built out. So, for example, it's like, you will produce a daily update for the topics of technology and economics. Now you can see it's searching the web. So it's actually gone on to Guardian. It says, navigate to the technology section, visit Guardian, pick a news story, click on the story and read it fully. And this is basically like another virtual environment. So it's a bit safer than running browser web UI inside your own Chrome login. Much safer to have it in a virtual environment. The only thing that I would say with this is it seems to be a lot slower than using some of the other APIs we were looking at before. So whether that's because of so much demand or something like that, you can see here it's still stuck on stage 1. You can see here it's gradually working through it. But I think if you gave browser use web UI the same prompt, it would get better results. Let's test this out actually. We're going to say the same thing now. So these are the results from Convergence. And this is browser use web UI actually just doing the same thing, but live inside our browser. Now, Convergence has come back to us and it's given us like a technology and news summary, as you can see, as well as a business news summary. So that is quite useful. I think you could use ChatGPT 4 for the same thing. I don't think you actually need a browser for that. And you can see the browser use web UI is just doing its magic, but it's already been 2 minutes. So we're going to stop it there and see how it went. Yeah, I would say Convergence AI actually got a better report. I think because of all the pop-ups, Convergence AI actually did a better result than the computer use agent inside browser use web UI. When you're doing this as well, just a little tip here is like, if you're going to run the deep research report, don't run it in the same browser. Use a separate browser because it's going to open up many tabs. Seems to be quite buggy if you use it in your own browser. So for running the agent, that's great for using it in Chrome. And by the way, all the SOP, all the instructions, all the commands that I use to set it up are inside the AI Profit boardroom. But if you're going to do deep research reports, just make sure you don't have that selected. So if we go back to browser use web UI now, and we check out the deep research report on AI and SEO, we can check the report. We'll see how long this was. So this is a 588 word article on how SEO is changing the AI landscape. And you can see, it's nicely formatted, it's nicely written, etc. Talks about how to future-proof your strategy. It's not bad at all. It's nowhere near as long as deep research reports from ChatGPT, but I think 99% of people are not going to read a 10,000 word report. Like, have you ever seen the reports from ChatGPT? Unless you are trying to create a dissertation, you probably don't need that much research. Or you're going to ask ChatGPT to reduce it anyway and condense it anyway. So thanks so much for watching. That is exactly how to set this up. The other thing I was going to say is you do get agent settings, so you can choose between, for example, how many run steps, so the maximum number of run steps in each action, the maximum number of actions per step, and whether you want to use vision or not when you're running the agent. Additionally, this seems to be getting updated all the time, so I can imagine it's only going to get better. It's already better than most browser agents I've seen out there, so pretty powerful stuff. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to the SOP and how to set this up for yourself, feel free to get that. It's inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. Just go to the SOP section and then computer use, and you'll see all the terminal commands. Additionally, this comes with a crash course to save you hundreds of hours, plus weekly coaching calls and Q&A calls with me. Additionally, all the Q&As are recorded, and you can ask inside the community if you have any questions. You can see it's absolutely popping off. We've got 78 people in there already. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to get that. Link in the comments description. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan. So you'll get a custom tailored link building plan so you can generate more lead sales and profits. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building. Or answer any questions you have. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building, and how to 10x your SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients like you see right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate watching. Perplexity have just released deep research. Now, this is like an alternative to OpenAI's deep research, except here's the biggest difference. Normally, you would pay $200 for deep research capabilities inside ChatGPT Pro, but now you get access to it for free inside Perplexity. So you get up to 5 queries per day for non-subscribers and 500 queries per day for pro users. Bear in mind, ChatGPT's deep research limit is 100 per month for operator. Whereas if you're on the free plan on Perplexity, you get 5 queries per day. You can see it in action right here. Here's an example of the benchmarks. So if we pull this up, this is a comparison for QA of Perplexity Deep Research versus OpenAI. And you can see a huge difference right there, which is pretty wild. We've got the deep research stats on Perplexity scores. So it scored 21.1% on humanities last exam, outperforming Gemini, Thinking, O3 Mini, O1, DeepSeek R1, and other top models. We'll be testing out today. I'll show you exactly how to get access and how to use this step by step. But I'm super excited. Perplexity always come up with the goods, so let's get straight into it. So if you want to get started with this, just open up a new thread, and then you're going to select deep research from the dropdown. So this is what you can use. And if we say, for example, okay, tell me about how AI will impact SEO in 2025, we'll plug that in, and you can see it's now beginning to do the deep research. Now it says, deep research often takes a few minutes to complete. I'll start by preparing a research plan. Now, bear in mind, if you're using ChatGPT and the deep research function in there, it's usually going to take about 10 to 30 minutes per research report. So we'll put exactly the same prompt into ChatGPT versus Perplexity and compare the deep research functionalities here. But here, what ChatGPT often does, it'll come back to you and say, can you clarify a few aspects? I'm just going to say, give me all of them, and it'll go off and start doing the research. But here you can see that it's actually going to take quite a long time to get that back. If we come on to Perplexity, it seems to be a lot faster when we're getting the results. Now, if we click on starting research, there's no feedback from ChatGPT. But if we go back to Perplexity, it's already telling us, okay, we've looked at 25 sources. Here's what we're going to do step by step. So it's like think it out as a reasoning model. It's giving us all the sources. And then once it's ready, it's going to tell us exactly what we need to do. So if we have a look at these steps, first of all, I need to search the web for information on how AI is expected to impact SEO trends 2025, right? From the most recent research, I found a wealth of information suggesting that AI is significantly transforming SEO, blah, blah, blah. And it's just going off and do the magic. Now, the answer has already come back to us, and we've got a pretty detailed report here. Now, it's still reeling off, but that is pretty powerful stuff. Now, for sure, this has been triggered by the release from ChatGPT on deep research, but you can see you get very similar outputs, except that Perplexity seems to be a lot faster. So ChatGPT is not even, I would say it's probably about 20% of the way through this. So it's going to take quite a while to get that back, whereas Perplexity has already come back to us with the goods. You can also inside here ask to search images, videos, and generate an image as well. And it also gives you follow-up questions right here. Top of that, you can share this with people, so you can share it with your team. If we open this up on a new incognito, we'll check what we got back here. So if we open this up, we can X off that, and we can actually share it with people. Like, they don't need to log in or anything like that. And then we've got the sources, so you can see these numbers here. These are sources of the research that was used. So it's using, for example, like Brian Dean's Exploding Topics article on the future of SEO, and this was published in 2025, so it's not using like really old data from what I can see. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, again, this is a pretty recent blog that we can see from SEOmeta.com, and it summarized the key findings and then the evolution of everything. So it seems to be a lot faster, and again, you can do this for free. You get 5 free queries per day for non-subscribers. So you don't need to sign up to the premium plan. You don't need to pay for this. And this is like a very valid alternative to using ChatGPT's deep research, which costs $200 per month. Now that's halfway through, I would say at this point. It's already used 22 sources on ChatGPT. But again, like if you want speedy, fast results, you don't want to wait 30 minutes and open up ChatGPT and then close it and then wait ages, then this is probably the best alternative. Now, what I want to test as well is whether we can do multiple different research reports in different tabs. So I'm going to say, for example, research similar alternatives to profit boardroom community, and we'll plug that in. So let's see if we can upload images directly inside here. Yeah, so you can upload images, which is pretty useful. Let's have a look if you can do that inside ChatGPT deep research options. So if we select deep research, yeah, you can upload images inside ChatGPT deep research too. And then I want to say, based on my community, for the AI profit boardroom, give me a breakdown of the market and my competitors, plus what I need to think about in this industry to improve my offer. By the way, if you want to join the AI profit boardroom, link in the comments description. So we've given that to Perplexity to figure out now, and it's researching the profit boardrooms market and competitors, so that's pretty cool. And then if we go inside here, we're going to say, okay, do a research report on automation agencies. Here's some info about my agency services for AI automation, right? And then for this one, we're just going to get some information from our website. We'll copy that, we'll plug it into Perplexity and see what we get back. Now, the thing I like as well is it doesn't ask us for more information. It just goes off and does it. Whereas, for example, GPT makes it a little bit more complex because it gives you loads of questions, right, before you can even get the answer. And so, like, I think some people would just be like, I can't be bothered answering all these questions. I'm just going to go off and get the report, honestly. And then you've got the report already back from Perplexity on the community ideas. And then also it's doing the research on the AI automation. So you can open multiple tabs and then do multiple research reports at the same time, which is great, because then you don't have to wait for one report, then do another, and otherwise you're going to be wasting a lot of time. So let's have a look at some of the key ideas and stats from this report and just really analyze it in detail. So it's got key findings, AI overviews dominate the SERPs, content quality over quantity, that makes sense, fragmented search behavior. These are pretty valid key findings. I would say this is the way AI is going. If you see my interview with Neil Patel, then you have seen this insight on fragmented search behavior and how we were talking about how in 2025, it's really like a search everywhere, not just search Google SEO strategy that you want to be implementing. And then also, this is a pretty good stat as well. Automation efficiency, 86% of SEO professionals leverage AI tools to save 12.5 hours weekly on tasks like keyword research and site audits. Pretty useful stuff right there. Then it's talked about the rise of AI first search engines, for example, like Search GPT and Google Search Generative Experience. Everything in here feels better than what you would get normally from a research report. Everything in here is quite to the point as well. These are very valid insights, but it's not too wordy and it's not too long. If we take that whole report, let's see what we got here. So we'll take that, open up, and it is in total 1,200 words, so it's not too long. ChatGPT is still coming back to us. Meanwhile, Perplexity has already done 2 different research reports. So it's done 3 research reports essentially in the time that ChatGPT is still doing 1. And we'll compare the insights from Chat. Let's have a look on the next one. So it's giving us a market overview, and the global AI market is experiencing rapid growth with an expected annual growth rate of 36%. Good time to be in the market, by the way. Some ideas on different communities that we're competing with. I've never actually heard of any of these, to be fair. Let's see where they're getting that from. These are more like AI tools. I wouldn't say they're direct competitors, so I don't know how it's got that insight, to be honest. So indirect competitors, AI business tools and consulting services. Direct competitors, these are not direct competitors, to be fair. Like, for example, Board Mix. That seems to be more like an AI tool, not a community, so it's not really a competitor. Not very useful, honestly. I would definitely say like the SEO report is much more useful than the AI community report that's come back to us. Then it's given us key considerations for improving your offer, and we've already incorporated a lot of this stuff on the page, so that's not very useful either. And then it's given us some actionable reports, and it said, conduct a detailed competitor analysis using tools like Board Mix, invest in developing or integrating cutting-edge AI features, regularly engage members, thank you Captain Obvious. If you have a community, of course, you're going to do that. Monitor industry trends. So here's what I'm thinking, right? And my opinion has changed dramatically from this report versus the first one on like industry insights. Super useful. Like this stuff, this is great, right? The second report that we got back for the community and how to improve the offer, all this stuff is super obvious and not very relevant, right? So I would say it's very generic. I would rate this report probably about a 2 out of 10. This report is probably coming in at a 7 out of 10 and probably better than most humans can do. Let's check the last one. So now we've asked for details on like research report on AI automation agencies based on what we're doing. So let's see what it's come back here. We'll check the word count first of all. 1,000 words. Honestly, like the word count is not that different from your typical Perplexity report. The whole headline feels like very AI, if that makes sense. Like the transformative role of AI automation agencies, pretty generic and feels like AI fluff. This is all fluff. This is pretty useful stuff to know. So it's giving us some ideas on what we could sell. Pricing models, that's super useful to be fair. It's giving us some ideas on what we can charge, how much people are charging for like SaaS tools in the same space, retainers, and also challenges and ethical considerations. So I'm rating this one, I would say this is probably about a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7 out of 10. The conclusion isn't bad. Yeah, I'm giving that a 6 out of 10. Let's have a look what ChatGPT came back to us with. Wow, we're still waiting for that. Could be waiting all day for that. This could be a long video just waiting around for ChatGPT to generate the research reports. Let's see what else we can do here. So you can add it to a space. You can also convert it to a page. So when you convert this to a page, what that means is it's indexable and shareable to pretty much everyone on Perplexity. So for example, if we type in on Google Perplexity /page, which is where all the Perplexity pages are stored, you can see there's 10 different pages of content, right? And this stuff actually ranks on Google. If we go onto Google now, if we actually check out Perplexity's rankings and how much traffic they get from their pages section, you can see they're getting like 122k traffic just from the pages category, including subfolders, which is pretty impressive to be fair. And also this stuff indexes on Google. If we look over the last week, you can see stuff is indexing and ranking on Google within the last few days. So that's pretty useful as well. It's a nice little feature. And also you can design this page once you've published it as a page, and then insert sections, add media, edit different bits, insert more content at the bottom, etc., and add a cover as well. You can actually generate the cover using AI. So if we click on generate image and then photograph, it will actually generate like a cover image for our Perplexity page based on the original report that we created. Let's see what other sources it's used here. So it's using some pretty irrelevant stuff as well from the list that I can see. Not bad. To be fair, like the reports are not bad. By the way, that is a terrible image on the Perplexity page that's published. So I think it's a great free alternative. Very quick, that's what I like about it. It definitely is a competitor to ChatGPT Deep Research. I like the way that it cuts out the fluff as well. And also the stats and the insights, pretty useful in the majority of cases. All right, so came back 20 minutes later and the ChatGPT Deep Research report is still thinking. It's been stuck on like the last bit of progress right there for about 5 or 10 minutes. Doesn't seem to have come back to us. So from what I can see, Perplexity is definitely a better option. It's cheaper, it's free, it works quickly, you actually get results. The resources, I would say they're better than your average researcher, but they're probably not going to be like your specialist researcher, if that makes sense. So someone who, like, if you're comparing this versus a PhD researcher, I think you're going to get better results back from a human, but it's still pretty powerful and super useful. Plus, you can ask follow-ups and go deeper into the topics that you want after you've done the first set of deep research, and you can keep that selected on deep research down there. Now, if you want to see a previous report that actually worked on ChatGPT for deep research, you can see this example. This was actually done in just 9 minutes using 19 resources. Now, if we actually look, the research you get back from ChatGPT is much more in depth than Perplexity, right? There's a much higher word count here. If we actually count the word count, let me have a look in a second, see what we got here. So that is in total 10,600 words. So it's a lot more in depth, but there's a lot more fluff in there as well. If you want to just get straight to the facts, he's going to do that job for you, like you can see right here. But if you need a dissertation level research report, then this is probably more in depth than a human can actually do. However, what you can see here is that quite often it will source places that are not that reliable, right? So for example, if you were trying to create an expert research report, you're probably not going to check on forums on Reddit where anyone can post. But inside ChatGPT, it actually does do that quite often. And additionally, it's just got a lot of fluff in there. To actually read this report, it's going to take you about an hour or so to get through 10,000 words. So thanks so much for watching. Perplexity Deep Research is a great option, like you can see. Completely free. You can get access to it now. And if you want to get access to the AI Profit Boardroom, which comes with weekly hot seat calls, my best AI SEO, tons of training on AI agents, social media platforms, etc. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. And additionally, it comes with a community of nearly 100 people interested in AI, along with weekly calls directly with me in the group. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to book that link in the comments description. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors this month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on Autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of SEO link building, or answer any questions you have one-to-one. So today we're going to be testing out DataButton, which is like an AI agent that can essentially do a full stack code for you. So this is way beyond, for example, one-click no-code tools like Bolt or anything like that, because you can actually build the full stack and you can deploy it to a domain. It's very easy to do that. You can even, for example, integrate Stripe processing, and you can do it without coding because you can just go back and forth in the chat and connect to Firebase as well. So let's crack straight into this. We're going to click get started. So you can also connect it to your GitHub account, which is super useful for pushing this live. And then once you've logged in, you can basically build whatever software you want. So inside the description here, you can just explain what it is, what you're trying to build, how it works, etc. So here's an example. We're going to say build an SEO job board app, add a login page, full stack application for SEO agencies trying to hire SEOs, allow them to upload jobs, etc. And then we're going to click continue. Now from here, what you can actually do is upload specifications, requirements, user stories, prompts, quotes, etc. And then I'm going to use a custom GPT to prompt this. This is inside the AI Profit Boardroom. I'm going to say for prompting DataButton, full stack AI creator, give the prompt to build an SEO job board app, add a login page, full stack application for SEO agencies trying to hire SEOs, allow them to upload jobs, etc. And then include information on requirements, user stories, specification, and quote. Now this just allows me to plan out the whole project using AI, and this custom GPT is built, for example, like prompting apps like Rucode, Klein, GitHub, Copilot, and also Bolt. So you can see here, for example, it's coming up with the specifications. So we'll be using Firebase for authentication, then adding some quotes, etc. And we'll copy that prompt and then plug it straight into DataButton. So let's download that. Then we'll drag and drop it in here. So that's uploading the requirements. Then once that's uploading, we can click on continue. It says, do you have any websites or images we can use for inspiration? Let's take a screenshot of for inspiration, like you can see. Obviously, you need to be careful with copyright and stuff like that. I'm not planning to launch a job app. This is just for a demo on a website. But you can see how we're building that out step by step. Then for creating accounts, you can actually link Fire, which will allow people to log in with, for example, with their Google accounts, for example. And also we can set up Stripe. So Stripe will allow for payment processing. You can also link this to Supabase as well. So there's some awesome stuff you can do with this. For authentication, let's go with Firebase. And now it is creating the app step by step. What I love about this is just how easy it is. And you can build MVPs. So you can see here, the AI agent is saying, I'm taking the information you've provided and turning it into a plan so we can follow to build an MVP users will love. All right, so we filled in the description, the requirements, the inspiration, the integrations. Now, this goes far beyond something you could build with Bolt.new or these other apps. Like, this is creating something that's far bigger, right? If you just want to create a simple landing page, simple game, a simple tool, Bolt.new is great for that. But if you want to build something pretty epic like this, like you can see, it's even given us the idea for the SEO agency job board name, which is SEO Connect Hub. And you can see step by step, it plans out exactly how to build this. Plus, you've got a chat if you want to ask any questions. And you can see here, it's hello, it's wonderful to chat with you. I'm excited to help you bring your SEO job board vision to life. I've created a detailed implementation plan that will take us from concept to a fully functional MVP. And the whole process is just so easy. All you need is the idea. And let's be honest, like you could ask ChatGPT specific for 20 different ideas in your niche, and then you can launch all these apps, share them for free, use it for lead generation or whatever you want. And you can also see there's a deploy option over here. Now, if we want to add Firebase, we can do it like so. It gives us the instructions and it's pretty easy to set up. And now we can start going off and completing each task step by step. So if we click on start task, this is now going to start working its magic. Like you can see, it's just going off. And it's right, now I'm going to create the landing page. So it's got the observations, the plan, and the next steps on what to do. Bear in mind, like I have zero coding experience, never learned code, but now I can build a full stack app using this process. You can see some of the other steps as well. So for example, like building job posting management for agencies, implementing the job search and listing page, developing the agency dashboard, the job seeker dashboard, and creating a basic admin panel for content moderation. Now we've got an update. It said implemented professional landing page with clean navigation bar, hero section, features grid, and strong. If you want to check this out, you can just click on here. So you're just going to add a custom username that you can use on the app. Then you can click on deploy app and it's got the subdomain ready to go. So we've got the app deploying in the top right, like you can see right here. So it's got like a load-in status. Now, once it's deploying, it might take a few minutes to deploy that. What you're going to see is a load-in section like this. Now we have the subdomain deployed and boom, look at that. That is very much inspired by Upwork.com. So it's got SEO Connect, you can sign in. You've got a sign-in page. You can post a job, browse the jobs, and create an account. It's looking pretty good so far. That's just stage one, so we can mark that as done now. And now we can move on to setting up the Firebase implementation. So this is how people can log in, get their usernames, etc. So if we click on Start Task, we're going to go over to Firebase, go to our project. Then we need to go to Project Settings. So if you go to Overview and then Project Settings, it would be better if it told you exactly where to go, because this is pretty general, to be honest with you, if you're trying to figure this out for the first time. If you're not sure what to do here, what we can actually do is just take like a screenshot of that. And then I'm going to go over to Claude, paste in the image from data button and say how to set this up. So now we need to click the code icon. Here we go. Give the app a nickname. So we'll put data button here, register the app. Then we need to take the code from here, go over to data button, plug that in. And now all these links are linked, right? So if we go back here, we're going to click on or get started, authorize domains inside the settings section. So go to settings, authorize domains. Then we're going to copy this. We'll add that domain and we'll add that one. Here we go. You can also enable Firestore database, which will allow you to collect user data, and then we'll install this. So it's creating a login page for the app now. That was fairly simple and easy to do. And by the way, if you want the SOP for all this stuff that we're doing step by step, feel free to get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom, including all my best agents and everything else. So if you're getting stuck, or if you need weekly coaching, or you want to jump on a call with me, you can join the AI Profit Boardroom, and we do weekly coaching calls, plus you can watch back and ask any questions you have inside the community. So it's setting that up now, and this was easier than I expected. I thought something would go wrong there. Usually if you're using something like Bolt, you get loads of errors, you have to go back and forth a lot, but this seems to be much easier, which is great. All right, so we've set that up now. This should be looking pretty good. If we go onto our domain, we've completed step number 2, which is beautiful. And now we're just going to keep running through each section step by step. So we've completed stage 2, you can mark that as done. Let's get started with this. The rest of it should be pretty easy. It's really only the Firebase bit that's a bit tricky, because you have to integrate connecting the domains and authorizing it, and That just takes a couple of minutes to get your head around the first time you're trying it, but apart from that, this is pretty simple stuff. I'm no genius. So this should be good to go now. I've got the job management dashboard, the implementation of the management system, the edit job page. We can test that it works as well. If you have any errors along the way, what you can also do is say, for example, whatever your problem is, you can say, okay, when I tried to test this and it doesn't work, here's the error, right? And then Data Button will actually fix any errors and troubleshoot them for you as well. Bear in mind as well, when you deploy, you want to deploy the current version of it each time you want to test a change. So for example, this was last deployed 19 minutes ago. So we want to deploy the new version now. And once that's done, you'll get a successfully deployed app notification. Let's refresh the page, see what we got here. And if we click on post a job, which wasn't working before the deployment, now we can sign in with Google and test it out. And now we've logged in with the Gmail account, and that was beautiful. So now if we put in the details of the job, okay, SEO agency VA, we'll put in here job description for an SEO agency VA on ChatGPT, just so we can plug this in with some demo data. One thing to bear in mind here, when you're setting this up, you want to make sure that you have, if you're testing this on the test domain, make sure that you have the test domain set up as well, right? So we've got, for example, juliangoldie.databutton.app allowed on the domains list. Otherwise you won't be able to sign in with Google. We're going to just put in this dummy data right here as an example. Location, Zimbabwe, of course, 100. We're feeling a little bit stingy. Maximum salary, 10 million, because sometimes you never know. And then we're going to click create job post, and we can just go off and create our job post. So it's all pretty simple and easy to do. I've shown you how you can log in, post jobs. You can build this within a few minutes. You sit down for half an hour, you can get this deployed and set up, and it's really powerful. Like, it's pretty amazing. This is by far like the best way I've seen to create something, to create some sort of big. One thing to note here as well is that we haven't actually paid for this tool. So if we go to profile and then we're going to select our plan, we're not on any pay plan here. This is completely free so far. They do have freemium options, but from what I've seen so far, I've not been charged, which is absolutely wild. Now, if you're making UI changes and that sort of thing, so for example, at this point, we're working on task number 4, which is adding the job search feature. So you can see that you can actually preview different parts of the project. So where it said add job board, job card component and search, we can preview that and have a look here. We can also look at the code that's been updated as well. So this is for the job search section. So it's easy to see changes as you go along, which is pretty cool. You can also change the brand colors. So if we say, okay, change the project's brand colors to these, it's now updating the code across the project, updating the index.css of the project files. You've got all these project files as well on the left-hand side. So you can see as well, you've got like the sign up page, the UI components, and you can see that's now been updated with our brand colors. So we added the orange. That's looking pretty nice now. The only thing that I would warn you about is the coding and the changes back and forth. They do take a little bit of time, so just be prepared for that. And then once it's done that, you can just redeploy this. So it's asking you to redeploy the app. We can click on yes, okay, let's go. And then we can go back to our plan, right? So in the top left here as well, just one thing to note is you've got a plan and you've got a preview section. So preview, you can preview what's going on inside the project, and then plan, you've got the step-by-step tasks for each section of this project. And then once you've done each part, you can just click on mark as done there and just tick it off. So that is deploying now. We've got that good to go. So let's open it up, and it's looking a lot better. You can see you got themed orange, the CTA buttons, orange, etc. We can sign in as well. Let's try that. And you can also see here on the sign up page, you can choose between being a job seeker or being an agency. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get the full step-by-step SOP for you or your team, so you can go off and create full stack apps with Data Button, and there's no coding required here, and this is all free as well. You can see everything that I've done today is free. I've shown you proof of that. And inside the AI Profit Boardroom, I'll put the SOP directly inside there. This will also include the custom GPT for prompting Data Button, along with the full instructions on how to implement Firebase and follow all of this step by step. Along with that, this also comes with an amazing community of people interested in scaling, saving hundreds of hours and making more money with AI. You can post in the community if you have any questions. There's tons of courses and video tutorials like you can see in here that you won't find anywhere else. And also there's weekly Q&As. So if you want to just jump on a call with me, ask me some questions, you can do that each week inside the Q&As. And if you can't make them, the Q&A calls are recorded back. Link to that is inside the comments and description. And if you want to get a free SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot, feel free to get that. link in the comments and description. We'll show you on this free link building acceleration session 1-to-1. We'll give you a free SEO domination plan, so you'll get a custom tailored link building plan to generate more leads, sales, and profits to your website. You'll discover the secrets to SEO link building. We'll answer any questions you have 1-to-1. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building, and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients. Feel free to get that link in the comments and description. Appreciate you watching. These new one-click DeepSeek AI agents are absolutely insane. So what you can see here is a brand new workflow I've been working from, and it's all set up with where you can basically just plug in a message and it will automate a whole workflow for you from step by step. Now I'm going to explain exactly what's going on here, how it works, but one of the most important parts of this process is that we actually have a human in the loop method for approving and then creating feedback loops inside our AI agent process. So let me show you exactly what I mean step by step. So inside here, for example, you can see we are actually using DeepSeek, and you can use a free API from OpenRouter inside here. I'll show you how to set it up in a second. And this is on a platform called N. Now inside N8n, you can actually build AI agent workflows that connect to apps. So for example, this is connected to our Gmail. Then we've got different AI agents like a research agent, an introduction agent, an agent for rewriting content like you can see right here. And step by step, this is going to go off and do its magic for us, right? Now, what you also see inside this section over here is we have a research agent. Each of these agents inside the workflow has different functions. So what I'm trying to do in this workflow, and you can apply this to anything that you're trying to automate inside your business, I think it's really good for you to see the power of N8n and how you can set this up. But essentially, what we're trying to do here is automate the process of creating video transcripts for our YouTube channel. For example, inside my YouTube channel here, we create avatar videos with my AI functionality like this. This is not me, this is an AI. And this is 18 minutes long. It got 26,000 views. So I was like, why don't we use that process to create a really nice transcript inside N8n? We can basically automate the whole workflow with DeepSeek and one click, step by step. So first of all, what I'm going to show you is how the workflow runs step by step and how it goes. So if we go inside the chat over here and we say, okay, here's my video title. So I'm going to just put robots, right? New AI meta robots from partner. And what this is going to do step by step is trigger the workflow. So just by typing in and one click in that title, it's now going to send that over to the research agent. And the research agent is basically doing the research on the internet live to figure out, okay, what can we talk about in this process? Then we've got the introduction agent. So this is going to write the introduction for our video so that we can automate that. And now we have a process where the research agent has given the research to the introduction agent. The introduction agent has written it, send it over to this feature right here. I'll explain it in a minute. And now we can approve the content that's come into the script before we go any further in the workflow. Right? And this is great for any sort of workflows where you need like a human sort of feedback loop to give and improve the content that you create inside your AI agent's process. So essentially what this Gmail functionality here is doing is it's asking me to approve the email of the content we just produced. So you can see we get an email to our inbox. It says approval required. As please approve this introduction before we carry on. And so we've got the introduction for our video, and you can see this is actually using real data to create the content. Now this video transcript itself is pretty cool. And then if we click on respond, here we can actually give a response on whether this is approved or not. And then depending on whether the transcript is approved, if it's approved, it will go to the AI agent for creating content. And if it's declined, then it will go to the rewriting agent, which is then going to feed that back into the feedback loop to improve the process. So if this is approved, great, send it to the next stage. If it's not approved, let's make sure we improve it with another agent until it finally is good to go. And the actual content itself is written really nicely using DeepSeek as well. So if we look at this introduction, this is better than I could come up with on the spot. And you can see here it says, hey everyone, today I'm going to blow your mind with something that's about to change the game forever. Imagine robots working side by side with humans like they're best friends. Sounds crazy, right? Meta just dropped something called Partner, and trust me, it's massive. This isn't just about robots. It's about making them smarter, faster, and way more helpful than you ever thought possible. Now, Partner really only got announced like a few days ago, right? So this is based on recent data, this research process. The way that we come up with the data is we use this model right here, OpenRouter chat model. We use it in Perplexity's Sonar. Now, Sonar is a pretty amazing API where you could build your own generative search capabilities, right? And it's using real-time research from the internet to figure that out. And it's pretty cheap, it's very quick to use. And for doing research inside your AI agents, this is one of the best things you could possibly insert. So now we could say, okay, is this approved or not? So let me pull up an example right here. So you can see the process in real time right here. As you can see, this AI agent workflow afterwards is not complete. I just want to show you how powerful this can be as a feedback loop, first of all. And so if we go to our email for approval from N8n, if you like it, you can say approved. And if we hit submit, so what that's going to do is approve it and send it to the next stage of the workflow. So it's using a text classifier to figure that out along with DeepSeek. So it's analyzing the response from us, and then it sends it over to this process right here. Now, if this is declined, let me show you an example. So if we go to the chat and we'll run the workflow again and say it's declined. And just one thing to note here is inside our AI agents as well, we have these two agents linking directly to OpenRouter over here. So if we go back to our emails now we just need to say, okay, remove the CTAs from the content, hit submit, and that's going to decline the workflow and send it through to our rewriting agent like you can see. And so we create like a feedback loop where we can reset the whole process based on the feedback we've given the AI agent. So it can rewrite the content and then we're good to go on that. Is put it through the rewriting agent. The rewriting agent is on a green tick, so that's worked successfully. Then it's send it over to the edit field section, and now we have a new set of content to approve. So you can see this has just come through a minute later, 10:49 a.m. versus 10:48 a.m. And that's the new content to approve. So if you ever want to stop the workflow when you're testing it, just click stop. And I'll explain exactly how this process works step by step. All right, the workflow begins when we set up the new chat message. If we delete that, we'll hide the chat. To trigger this whole workflow, you just click on chat. And by the way, if you want the whole blueprint from me from today, we'll click download on this. And inside the SEO section of the AI Profit Boardroom, I'm going to add a new page called DeepSeek N8n Agents, and we'll upload the blueprint from this agent workflow right there. So if you want to just import it and copy and steal it from me, you can inside the AI Profit Boardroom in the SEO section. Additionally, this comes with weekly coaching calls from me. So if you have any problems as you go along, feel free to ask me on the weekly coaching calls. And like I was saying, this process, we start with a chat. That's how we trigger the message. Then inside here, we've got the research agent. The research agent is essentially going to go off and research this particular topic. All right. So if we put Meta AI robots into the chat, the research agent will use Perplexity's API using Sonar to research that topic. That's going to feed into the introduction agent. And you can see here that we have connected the chat model, so the API, from DeepSeek R1 Distilled Llama. Now, honestly, for writing content, I would say DeepSeek Chat 2.5 is good. Chat is good as well. Whatever you want to use here. If you type in DeepSeek, once you've set up your OpenRouter account, then you get access to all these other models as well. So you even get Quen Distilled R1. Chat is probably the best for writing. I also like Claude 3.5 Sonnet as well. And then inside the introduction agent, let me show you the prompts we're using. So we've got a system prompt and we have an user prompt, right? So if we click this right here, this is going to open up the prompt in full screen so you can see what we're saying here. So we're saying topic, see the content from this website. Also, don't ask me any questions, just write the content. Don't mention title or teaser, just write the script, nothing else. Do not say title. The reason that we're saying that is because when we're using this process, I don't want like any notes. I want it to be able to just go straight into my AI avatar video creator. By the way, tons of training inside the AI Profit Boardroom for that as well. And using that process, we can easily create the introduction for our transcript. Now, we don't want to create the full transcript because we want to make sure the AI agent has written the introduction first, and then we can go step by step into the rest of this process. Now, the key of this is really having a solid process for the system message. All right? So this is a user prompt that's dynamic each time, and this is a system message that stays the same each time. It's like a custom GPT, but it's plugged into the rest of the workflows. It's more like an AI agent. And you can imagine here that you've got a team working together, right? So you've got the research agent working alongside the introduction agent, and then you have the rewriting agent that's working with the human feedback I give to the process. And so inside the introduction agent, inside the system message, we've said you're my video transcript agent, aim for 15 to 20 minutes per video. Use the topic in the first line, which is dynamic each time. So that's fed in from the chat. So if we say talk about AI robots, then this is fed into the user prompt above. Then from here, we said create an amazing 4 to 6 line teaser for my video, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Everything else is good to go on that. Now that's going to go into a email set module right here. Now you might be wondering, okay, what is that? So this is edit field set, and you manually map. And this is great when you've got 2 different agents feeding into one place, because what it's going to do is take the previous output from the processor, right? And then send it to Gmail for approval. So this module right here, the Gmail one, this is actually a human in the loop module. So if you go to add module inside N8n, and by the way, if you're not familiar with all the basics on N8n, check out my other videos on YouTube about this. It'll talk you through step by step how to do it. But essentially you can add like apps, agents, etc. inside N8n, link them together. And these arrows show you exactly what's linked together and how. So if we go inside the nodes here and we click on human in the loop, you can see that we can approve manually the content we've got so far from the introduction agent, Gmail or Google Chat, Slack or Telegram. I think Telegram would be great, but I also think that Telegram has a character limit. So that's why I focus on Gmail instead. And now that's going to connect to our text classifier. All right. So this will send an email to my emails like you saw earlier in the workflow. We can approve or we can say no to that. And then inside the text here, this basically sets a filter. So if the script is approved, it goes to the next part of the workflow. If it's declined, it goes to the rewriting agent, and that fires it back over to the set field for human approval. Now, if we go to the text classifier, we've got 2 different options here. So we've got a category for approved, which means that we've approved the process, like it looks good to go, whatever. And then we've also got the option for declined. And if we open this up, the AI agent knows this is declined. Now, this is linked to AI as well. So you can see here, the model is linked down to OpenRouter using DeepSeek as well to figure out, okay, is this declined or is this approved? Are we good to go on that and we can send it over, or does it need more improvement? And then finally, we've got the rewriting agent. So the rewriting agent is also linked to DeepSeek, and it's linked to this module over here. So you can actually link multiple chat models from the AI agents to the same AI, like you can see. And the instructions for this are basically take my feedback, which is the human feedback I give via email, improve the script, which you can see right here. And then you can also get the research for the script as well down there. And then if we open up the prompt for this, it's you're an AI-powered script improver. Your job is to enhance the provided script based on human feedback, improve clarity, accuracy, structure, and alignment with the requested focus whilst maintaining natural readability. Boom. All right. And that's basically the whole process. And it's absolutely mind-blowing. Like, I only started using this probably, I would say, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it felt really complicated. Now it feels like you can build anything that's personalized to you in literally a few hours. And it's a lot of fun as well. It's so much fun building out these feedback loops. So if you want to get all my best trainings and SOPs on, you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Just type in N8n once you join, and you'll see all these different workflows right here. Additionally, if you want to get the actual template from today, just go down to the SOP section and then go to DeepSeek N8n agents, and you can download the feedback loop method right there. Really good for creating content, because obviously content creation, if you post it without checking it using AI, it can be hallucinated, it can have facts wrong. And that's why you need a human in the loop feedback method like this. And hopefully it just gets approved in one click. But if not, you give it the feedback, you can improve it, and then review it again once it's done. Additionally, if you want to jump on calls with me weekly, you'll get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom, along with a community of 124 members, like you can see. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to book that in. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on Autopilot. And this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of SEO link building, or answer any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to 10x your SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients, like you can see right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.